expressed by the On the Spot with David Rodgers show are solely based on the show's hosts, guests, and viewers, and we are solely responsible for all show content in its entirety and does not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of our sponsors in any way. These broadcasts are presented and made public by the On the Spot with David Rodgers show in the hope that it will be entertaining and informative to our viewers and listening audience.
All right, hey, John, do you mind if you come take our temperatures here? Trying to make sure. What do you got there with Mitchell? Does he need to go home?
No, not quite.
All right, I hope so. I need to go home.
A little high.
A little high? All right.
All right.
If you can log those in for us, John, I'd appreciate that. All right, all right. Good Saturday evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to On the Spot with David Rodgers. Brought to you tonight by Service First Small Engine Repair in McRae. Let Chuck Scarberry come to you for all your small engine repair needs. This is your show coming to you live on Facebook and YouTube every Tuesday and Saturday night. You control and run this show. We are just the rudder that steers this big old vessel. We bring it to you first for education, discussion, and debate of local news, politics, and sports, as well as the latest on the COVID-19 situation and the shenanigans going on in the United States of America. We have you covered from Middleburg to Melrose to McIntosh, from Lake City to Lake Butter, Lake Como, from Waldo to Williston, from Waddy to Lulu, where I did spot some people, but I'll go over that later. And also points in between Gainesville, Palaco, Cowell, and of course right here in beautiful Stark, Florida. Now, here's your On the Spot team making it happen every single week. First, putting it all together behind the scenes, our executive producer, Super Dave Holland. Say hello, David.
Hello, everybody.
And back on tonight for special assignment is our marketing director, John, better than Snow Probst, out of Tampa, Florida. Say hello, John.
Howdy, everybody.
Rounding out the team is Austin Storm Chaser Stevens, tracking the latest on our approaching hurricane. And our great media partners, WEAG Eagle Country 106.3 FM, Chuck and Mary Kramer and Lynn Bellis, and the Bradford Telegraph and their staff as well. As you can see, I am flying double tonight as our very own Mitchell Gunner is back with us, and our director, Michael the Dragon Slayer Heater, is protecting us from the Bradford County 911 Center all night long, running it solo. And here to my right is our local guy, the man with the plan, the guy with all things local, Bradford County and regional wise. Say hello to Mitchell, the American Scout and Lookout, Gunter.
Good afternoon, everyone.
And Byron Bagwell is off this evening on his special assignment. Hopefully we'll have him back Tuesday. If not Tuesday, he will be back Saturday off his special assignment. And I'm your host, David Rodgers, the voice of the Bradford High Tornadoes and
The Show Pony.
Hey, welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. We are coming to you live from the On the Spot Studios along Call Street in beautiful downtown Stark. Only 471 miles from Cullowhee, there you go, North Carolina, home of the Western Carolina University Catamounts. And do you know that's where Michael Heater went to college at? Was Western Carolina. How about that? We got us a Catamount in the house. Good grief. So let's get started as we always do with our prayer, our pledge, and our patriotic words of wisdom. Everybody, let's do our prayer here. Let's bow our head. Our righteous Heavenly Father, let us once think again for a wonderful and beautiful and glorious day you've given us, dear Lord. Thank you for the week that you've given us, and thank you again for this wonderful day. Thank you for letting us get together as a crew again, dear Lord. Our On the Spot team. I love each and every one of these guys like my very own brothers, dear Lord. And just keep a hedge of protection and keep them fulfilled in whatever needs them and their family need, dear Lord. Thank you for the food that we receive each and every day as it goes into the nourishment of our bodies and our bodies to thy service. Thank you for letting us live in the greatest country in the world today. And that's the United States of America, dear Lord. And also the greatest fighting force in the world, fighting to keep our liberties, our freedoms, and the great country free from any kind of domestic and foreign terrorism, dear Lord. That's our United States Armed Forces. Thank you for all our first responders and everybody that keeps us safe each and every day. Thank you again, dear Lord, for the week that you're about to give us again. I know this hurricane is coming right up us, dear Lord, but just keep a hedge of protection over us as this storm passes through and by our area. Anybody with a spoken or unspoken prayer request, dear Lord, that you touch each and every one of them as well, dear Lord. Thank you again, and we ask for all these things in your Son's name, Jesus Christ. And the congregation says,
Amen.
All right, let us stand for our pledge. And I'm going to ask Mr. Dave Holland if he'd lead us tonight, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen. Again, welcoming on the spot with David Rodgers. My name is David Rodgers, I do believe. At least it is tonight.
Yes, it is tonight.
It is tonight. Yes, Saturday night. So my name is David Rodgers. I am your show host to my left, making an appearance from Tampa, Florida when he can, is our very own marketing and advertising director. That's Mr. John Brooks. Say hello, John.
Hello.
And back from special assignment is our very own Mr. Mitchell Gunner, our local guy, the guru himself. How's it going, Mitchell? How you been, man? Tell us what you've been up to, brother.
Sinus infection. I'm wearing a face mask too much.
Wow, really?
Yep.
Isn't that crazy? Well, we're going to talk about that a little bit during the show. And about that, huh? We'll let you explain that.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
All right. And to my right over here, behind the scenes, putting all this pretty production together for you, is our very own producer, Super Dave Holland. Say hello to everybody, David.
Well, hello, everybody.
All right. Our patriotic words of wisdom for the night, David. Here we go. Let's see if y'all can guess it.
All right.
Our greatest happiness does not depend on the condition of life in which chance has placed us, but it is always the result of a good conscience, good health, occupation, and freedom in all just pursuits. Who said that? It's one of our founding fathers. He was a president of ours.
Oh, I'm going to have to say George Washington.
Yeah, okay. I'll get you that guess. What do you think, John? Got George Washington out there.
The clock is ticking.
I don't know.
All right. Mitchell? And our audience, Thomas Jefferson.
Thomas Jefferson.
Oh, Mr. TJ there. How about that, huh?
I was very close to saying that.
Yeah,
That's what they
I
all
was
say.
wanting to say it.
I've got a question for our audience, David, before I get pursuing any further. Just something to let them think about. Question. What is the purpose of calling someone to testify before Congress? Question mark. To hear them testify? Of course. What was done to Bill Barr was very uncouth. Have y'all all seen that? Oh my gosh, man. This guy had not a chance to answer anything. They just was trying to railroad him to pieces. And I tell you what, the top law enforcement guy in the country, lawmaker in the country, our attorney general, and that's the way he gets treated? So my question to you guys is, what is the purpose of calling someone to testify before Congress? It's to hear him testify. Well, what was done to Bill Barr was uncouth, and I'll give you a little chance to look that up and see what's going on. And if you want to know what the definition of uncouth is, we've had a chance to look that up for you. Do you know what uncouth is? Is it a verb, adverb? What is it? John?
Bad tooth.
What is it? A pronoun, noun? It's an adjective.
Is that?
Yeah. It's an adjective of a person or their appearance or behavior lacking good manners, refinement, or grace. Here's another definition. He is unwashed, uncouth, and drunk most of the time. Ha! How about that? Well, there you go. I'll let you think on that one. But it is an adjective. It's of a person, their appearance or behavior lacking good manners, refinement, or grace. So again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the show. My name is David Rodgers. Let's get going. I'm going to get to everybody's comments in just a second, everybody that's on for us tonight. But before we delve into today's latest, we want to recognize our great sponsors who have been working hard with limited staff and changing hours. Of course, with the COVID-19 numbers spiking, these guys have changed some of their hours. You have, and we'll talk about that. This is our sponsor spotlight. First, Service First Small Engine Repair, Fun Point Food and Arcade, Southern Gym Photography, Miracle Automotive and Recovery, Dependable Waste Services, Schuster and Saban Law Offices, and the Downtown Grill. Harry Business of Star, Boogie Nights DJ Service, designed by pros. We got Mr. Probst in the house tonight. Maybe you can talk a little bit about that. On the Spot Lawn Maintenance, which has been very busy the last 3 weeks. Williams Jewelry on Call Street, and Brittany Leanne Creations. And now, here's our all-new news segment. We call it the 360, ladies and gentlemen. We take you around the community and around the country in just 6 minutes. It's 360 degrees and 360 seconds. Tonight, brought to you by Fun Point Food and Arcade and Star. Check out the all-new menu on Facebook or www.funpointstart.com. We begin in Alachua County, the People's Republic of Alachua, where detention officers at the Alachua County Jail located an inmate with a sheet around his neck while doing an inmate count early Friday morning, according to the sheriff's office. Officers located a 43-year-old inmate with a sheet around his neck tied to his bunk, according to deputies. The man was taken to a local hospital and pronounced dead at 8:48 a.m. A 48-year-old man from Stark has been arrested on several counts of possession of child pornography. Bradford County Sheriff's Office worked with the FBI after they received information linking Dale Russell's internet access to child pornography, deputies say. When confronted, Russell admitted to downloading the child pornography and gave his computer to investigators. They located 9 videos of children involved in sexual acts, according to deputies. Russell was arrested and charged with 9 counts of possession of child pornography and has a bond of $2,225,000. Mitchell?
He's not getting out.
He's not getting out. That fine needs to be a little bit more, doesn't it?
Thing. He's not getting out.
He's not getting out. Putnam County firefighters battled a fully involved mobile home on a Magnolia Lane in Georgetown last night. There were no injuries, but the home was completely destroyed. And now here's your weather update, sponsored by Austin's Weather Service out of Keystone Heights. Find AWS on Facebook for the latest information. If you've been living under a rock, ladies and gentlemen, we have a hurricane, which is right now a tropical storm, but it will gain hurricane strength as it comes by the Florida coast. As John was just telling me earlier, all the way up the East Coast. Daytona, you said, John. Who else? St. Augustine.
Well, Palm Beach.
Beach.
Parts of Volusia County.
Right.
Daytona Beach.
Yep.
Basically anything that where I-4 and I-95 meet.
Yep.
On the East Coast.
Yep.
All those counties right there are in state of emergency.
Okay.
And they're opening shelters. Palm Beach County has opened, I think, 2 or 3 shelters.
Right.
And so they're testing everybody's symptoms when they come in.
Okay.
And so if you have symptoms or you're sick, they put you in a separate classroom, because in Palm Beach County, all of their shelters are at schools.
Right.
So they have a general population area, and then you can go into a classroom if you have symptoms.
Right. And they're also putting some people's up in hotels, right, John? Just depending
on the situation, FEMA
Right.
has approved to reimburse county governments for hotel stays for people that either have COVID, have symptoms, or they don't have enough room in shelters.
Wow, that's awesome right there. All eyes are on now Tropical Storm Isha. How about that? That's wrong.
I think you're wrong.
It is. What is it, Mitchell?
Don't put me on the spot.
Yeah, put you on the spot.
It's
It's a Spanish name.
yes.
Isaias.
Yes. Isaias. I was hoping you was going to correct me, because me and you talked about this when you came on. Isaias, and that's exactly right. Spanish name, as it makes its approach towards Florida, Dave. There has been a slight westward shift in the forecast, and if we stay on the current track, this will mainly be a coastal and St. Johns River event. West of Highway 301, the forecast tonight is mostly clear. Lows in the lower 70s, east winds 5 miles per hour. Sunday, partly cloudy in the morning and then becoming mostly cloudy. A 50% chance of showers and thunderstorms, highs around the 90-degree temperature. The last data received from a previous Air Force Reserve reconnaissance aircraft, along with recent satellite and radar imagery, indicated that Isaias has weakened to a tropical storm due to a combination of wind shear, dry air, and interconnection with the Andros Islands earlier today. However, Isaias is forecast to regain hurricane status tonight, and the worst of the weather will move through North Florida Sunday evening into Monday morning.
That's right.
Yeah. Oh.
At this hour, a tropical storm warning remains in effect from the Volusia to the Flagler County line to Ponte Vedra Beach. A tropical storm watch extends north into Georgia and even into South Carolina. This weather report brought to you by Austin's Weather Service of Keystone Heights. Find AWS on Facebook and get a local forecast sent right to you. Here now is what the year is. The new segment, Mitchell, that we have. What is the year that these three events happened, Dave? We've had some fun with this.
Yes.
Let's see if our viewers are as good as they say they are. Nobody got the last week's.
No, nobody did.
Nobody. So let's see. All right, here we go. The Stark City Commission in its meeting Tuesday, July 19th, declared the Brown Pipeline Company of Atlanta defaulted their contract to install water pipes in the city. The Garden Restaurant of Stark beat the team from Waldo to take the Softball League championship for that year. How about that? All right. And the Florida Theater announced that two Lost Worlds, starring James Arness from what? What was James Arness on? Gunsmoke. Marshall Dillon. Fame would premiere in the movie theater. So let me read those again, John. Here now is our What's the Year segment. The Stark City Commission in its meeting Tuesday, July 19th, declared the Brown Pipeline Company of Atlanta defaulted their contract to install water pipes in the city. The Garden Restaurant of Stark beat the team from Waldo to take the Softball League championship that year. And the Florida Theater announced that two Lost Worlds starring James Arness from Gunsmoke fame would premiere in the movie theater. All right, John, let's see what years we have. The Bradford Telegraph headlines were from what year, Dave? Is this July 1960, July 1961, or July 1962? So, the years again are July 1960, July 1961, or July 1962. We're going to give our audience a quick minute to answer this. Dave, I know you got a watch party going on. Who do you want to say hello to?
I'd like to say hello to Richard Owens.
Richard Owens, hello, sir.
Yes. Robert Lester, Denton DeVoe.
All right.
Yes.
Denton
Terry,
DeVoe or Duval?
DeVoe.
DeVoe?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's DeVoe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Terry Vaughn.
Terry Vaughn, the supervisor.
Travis Woods.
Travis Woods, hello.
Laura Spox. Laura Box.
Yeah.
And I got a few more coming in.
Okay. How about you, Mitchell? Pass?
I don't have no one on.
I don't have no one.
Because I've got information on my phone that I've got.
There you go. Mitchell will be starting a watch party. John, you got anybody on yours?
Good old Byron Bagwell.
Really?
Who's that?
Who's that?
I don't know.
Yeah, supposed to be a co-host, but I haven't seen him in
name.
a month of Sundays.
He's not over there.
No, he's not. Good grief.
But then I have his lovely mother.
Okay. All right.
Oh,
Miss Shirley. Yeah.
We can forget about Byron, but we
We can
Miss
forget about
Shirley.
Byron, but we can forget about Miss Shirley.
Miss Shirley can cook.
Yes, she can. And by the way, just real quick before you go on, John, Shirley Bagwell did bring that cake to Raymond Noe and his wife. She brought it down there on Friday. That was another $50 donation to the Bradford County Food Pantry. So thank you, Shirley, for making that cake.
Thank you, Shirley.
Absolutely. We really appreciate your hard work on that cake. And I seen the finished product. I have to show you guys the picture. I probably sent it to you so we could have put it up there. It looks delicious. Oh, man. Anyway, John, who else you got?
My grandma's watching.
Hey, hello, Grandma.
Grandma.
I got Dwight Allen on here.
Oh, our brother. By the way, Dwight Allen. Did you know, John, it is the July Volunteer of the Month? Yep. Dwight Allen, congratulations on that award, sir. We'll get your certificate to you here.
Yes, sir.
And then our Hero of the Year, our month award, goes to the boy that saved the sister from that dog attack, got bit up himself. And I love this quote. He said, his dad asked him, and people asked him why he did that. Because he said, I wanted my sister to live, and I was protecting her. Isn't that great?
That's
And
awesome.
I can't think of the kid's name right now. Do you remember? Wilder or something? We'll look it up. And we'll see who that is. But anyway, again, is that year 1960, 61, or 62? Welcome them in. Dorothy Starling, good evening. Austin's Weather Service. Thank you, Austin, for your weather. Oh, Byron says, I know. It was a disgrace the way they treated Barr. Uncouth, Darlene says. Welcome in, Darlene. That would be Scambosi that did some of that. Yep, y'all all know who that is. Lisa Tomlinson Moody, good evening. Melissa Dell, good evening, my neighbor. Austin, busted. And that's one big fine. He ain't getting out anytime soon, if never. Talking about Mr. Child Pornography. Yep, good job by the Bradford County Sheriff's Office and the FBI. Kudos to you guys. That's why we need police officers and police right there. Because you know what? If we don't have any of this and we defund everything, John, David, and Mitchell, guess what? This stuff's going to become rampant. And
You'd
who's
have to
gonna
protect
control-
yourself.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be what? It's going to be frontier justice. We all going to have to just take care of it ourselves. And boy, y'all don't want that. Ooh.
God.
Yeah, good
No.
grief.
And at this point, it's hard to do that because you can't buy ammo anywhere.
That's true.
Hey, I got some today.
Did you get some?
Yes, I did. I went actually to the gun show right down here at Bradford County Fairgrounds.
Did you make
going
it?
on.
Yeah.
It had started happening today
I should have told you.
from 9 to, I think it was 4
Yeah.
today, and it's 9 to 3 tomorrow.
I'm going
It's $6 to get in, and I actually got me some 8mm rounds for my Mauser.
Do they have an AR?
Oh, they got plenty of ARs there for sale.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I want to go for
Not for $1,000.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, he said. I don't know if I want to pay that. But anyway, we'll get to that. Austin says, oh, no. Byron says, just a little rain and wind. It will be good for social distancing. Again, good evening, Miss Bagwell. Christopher Davis, good afternoon, fellas. Speaking of Christopher Davis, we were at his establishment on Tuesday night, David. That wound up being a great show. Chris Davis on Slice and Dice Barbecue in Lottie, Florida.
Yes.
Right off of County Road 225 right there. Right down the road from 3 buildings down. If you turn off at 301, you've got the Subway, you've got the liquor store now, which used to be Old Lottie Supermarket, and his place. Let me tell you what a nice place he's got in there, David. He's really redecorated very nice.
And he was
Plenty
featured
of
in the
room.
Bradford County Telegraph this week.
Yes, he was finally. You know, that thing was done about 3 weeks ago, and he said he finally got featured. Well, we'll just pass on that. But anyway, great food. We showed the burger. We showed the hog fries. Man, ooh-wee. All that was good.
Mercy.
I got to try it out before I go home.
Oh, yes, you do,
Yes, you
brother. And you know what? I don't know when you're going home, John, but he's closed tomorrow. Closed on Sundays now. So you may have to get it when you come back through. But stop in there for lunch. Tell him we sent you over there. Byron, it caught the Kung flu. Oh, boy. Good evening, gentlemen. That comes for Sheila Sam Allstott there. Allstott, there you go. Do a live briefing on my page within the next hour. I have a good package report with wind speeds for area and other good stuff, including updates on tropical storm watches and warnings. That's Austin's Weather Service. If y'all want to tune in for that weather report, which will be happening in an hour, that's fine. But I don't know why Austin would want to do that right in the middle of On the Spot with David Rodgers. And since he's a part of that, I think we ought to find Austin. What do you think, David?
Yeah.
$100, Austin, that will cost you if you start that show at 8 or 8:30. $100 fine. Whoa. I bet you he don't start that show at 8 or 8:30.
Whoa.
That'll be 9:30 before he starts that. Dorothy Starling says 1962. Mr. Bagwell says 1962. Shirley says 1962.
Whoa.
Raymond No says, they must know the answer. Raymond No says amazing cake she made. Marie, thank you for coming in. Sheree Smith, hello. How are you doing? Hi, Marie. How are you? Let's see. Byron says to Raymond, yes, it is a cake, good cake. Yes, we can attest to that, too. Thank you, Raymond. Glad you enjoyed it. Thank you for the donation. That went to the Bradford County Food Pantry. Hands down, one of the best cakes I ever had, he said. A real pleasure to meet Miss Bagwell and the Sergeant Major.
Yeah.
How about that, huh? Excellent news. Miss Bagwell, thank you. Donald Stevens is on and Charles McKinney's on. All right. Who else you got over there? Real quick, Dave, before we give the answer. You're good. Mitchell, you ain't got nobody.
Nope.
John, you got anybody new?
No.
All right. Give us the answer, John. Remember To check your comments, Dave.
I'd like to guess.
Okay, you'd like to guess. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm going to do an educated guess.
Okay.
And I want to thank the teachers for educating me. So I'm going to go with Shirley,
In 1962?
1962.
All righty. All right, Mitchell, do you want to go with one?
Can I get
I was actually going to go with 1961.
Okay, you was going with 61. Okay. John, do you want to take a guess?
I wasn't even a thought.
Oh, you wasn't even a
Listen,
thought.
my mother wasn't born in 19.
Actually, I was not born either. I know Dave in this room was the only one that was born there at that particular point. That date was July 1960. 1960. Isn't that crazy? All right, well, nobody's won that yet. So, let's see. Any other guesses? Do you have any, Dave? Did anybody guess 60?
No?
Wow.
No, nobody?
Austin's Weather Service. Hey, the coronavirus has put a dent in my income, and I just recently bought a $750 iPhone because my iPhone was getting very old. I had to schedule it for 7 p.m., and I pushed it back till 8. I can't push it back any farther. All right, no problem. 750 just become 850. No problem there, Austin. Yep, you just do that, and we've got you fine. Austin, you know I'm messing with you, brother. I love you. All right. Let's get on with our show again. Welcome into On the Spot with David Rodgers. I am your host, David Rodgers. And yes, I will get in, Dave. You're not believing what I'm getting questioned on. Would you like to know?
Yes.
Goldilocks.
Yeah, where are we going to get a cut?
Yeah, we're going to get into that here.
We're just going to
a
have
minute.
to surprise them.
Yeah, we
Mine's
will.
Mine's getting long as well.
Yeah, so,
I took care of mine.
well,
if I can get you off that lawnmower.
yeah, we can. Let's see. What was the question, Charles McKinney? We'll put it back up. There was 3 different. It wasn't the trivia question. We haven't done that yet. It was that what was the news back in a particular year, and the answer was 1960 to that. So, Tex Johnson, Blind Dog, please don't push. You're a vital part of the county. Thank you for all you do. Tex basically saying, hey, Austin, you better use that thumb bag. Don't push that. I'm messing with you, Austin. But anyway, what else? What else we got, Dave?
We can jump over to local, right?
Let's jump over to local.
Let's jump
Finally
on.
back is Mitchell, the American.
It's probably
Look out
a
on.
little strange, isn't it?
Well, God, yeah, I'm not used to saying that. Welcome in, Mitchell Gunner. How's it been, buddy?
That's been great. Just
Good.
want to go ahead and let everybody know again, events that are going on. This weekend is the gun show. It started today, and it will go through till tomorrow, Sunday from 9 to 3 p.m. And it's $6 to get in. Hey, and there's plenty of ammo there if you're looking for ammo for all different types of gun, 30-06 rounds to 7mm rounds, 8mm rounds, all the way down to 223 for your ARs.
You get some ammo?
Yes, I did. I got me some 8mm rounds.
How much was your tax?
I paid $10. That's it.
Straight up?
Straight up.
50
Plus-
rounds?
Plus, no, it wasn't no 50 rounds. Because 20 rounds, it's about $50
Yes, it is.
for that rifle. And
Wow.
and I guess there was probably 10 rounds for $10. So it was actually a good buy
All
compared to
around.
what it costs for 20 rounds these days.
See, I can't even get 9mm ammo down there.
They got some 9mm ammo there.
I'm
I was
not
actually
anymore.
I think you at one booth
Yep.
you could buy 2 boxes of 9mm rounds for $49.
Wow.
2 boxes.
Really?
So they're having 2 boxes sales.
How many
there
in a
today.
box? 50?
I forget.
Yeah,
it's
that's
close to 50
50
rounds
rounds.
for
Yeah,
9mm.
yeah.
So 100 rounds for 40-something bucks.
I want to buy me another gun. I guess I'm going to have to go down there. Where is that located again?
Bradford County Fairgrounds.
Yep.
Yes.
We'll go after we get, when we talk about this.
Yeah.
Oh, beep, beep, beep. Family member spotted in the Lulu area of Florida, along with the famous Sasquatch family, and here they are. It is the Gunter family. I found them. Uncle
What?
Jimmy Crack Corn Gunner, Aunt Tammy Faye Gunner, Brother Fried Pork Chop Gunner, really?
Wow.
And Sister Baby Bugaboo Gunner. How about that? Good spotting right there.
Yeah, I got her.
How about that, Mitchell?
But,
Just thought I figured I'd throw that.
But on the gun show, it is being put on by Cliffhanger's Gun Shows. And they also have another gun show that's coming up in Jacksonville about mid-August. So keep your eyes peeled, and you'll probably start seeing those flyers being produced and also on Facebook going around. Also, another event that's coming up this coming weekend is at the Firm. It's the 904 Nissan Car Club. It's putting on a car show out there at the Firm. If you don't know where the Firm is located, it's out there at Keystone Airport. I think it's $20 to enter your car in that event. And also they have opportunities for you to get your car on the track, and that's a different cost. So that is happening next weekend.
I got a couple of real quick questions on the gun show, Mitchell.
Sure.
Miss Bagwell says, was that today? Yes, ma'am, it was today, and it is tomorrow. And Byron wants to know, did they have any Springfield ARs that you noticed?
I did not notice.
Okay.
But, I mean, I imagine they probably did.
Byron, I'll tell you what, me and Dave's going to go over there tomorrow. We'll take a look, and we'll let you know if that's the case.
Send us a list.
Yeah, send us a list, brother, what you're looking for.
But the place was pretty full. I mean, it was people walking around looking at guns and ammo and those that were selling. So,
Wow, and selling too, huh?
Yeah,
So to have any mask, anything like
some
that?
people were wearing masks and some people weren't.
Just strictly guns, huh?
So, and I'll go ahead and let you know, if you do have a concealed carry and you do want to go to the gun show, you will have to check that weapon in at the door.
Okay.
So you cannot take that with you around.
Okay.
But I'm going to go ahead and jump over here to the Bradford County Schools. Bradford County Schools will be starting school back on August the 10th. This was approved by the Bradford County School Board at the last meeting. But to go ahead and let you know, there are two different options that you can follow for your child. The first option is the brick and mortar, and that is your regular school. And the second option is for the virtual part of it. And the thing is, they did have another part that was the third option, but they had some issues with that. And a lot of those issues had to deal with children and what was going on in the classroom and privacy. And not only privacy, but if there was a child there that had health issues and it's being broadcasted all over the internet, it violates HIPAA. So they decided to not use option 3, which I thought was a really
good,
great idea.
Okay.
But to go ahead and let you know, parents, you can actually create or log into your child's existing Focus parenting portal, and you can complete a school choice form, and that will let you register online instead of using regular paper packets. So you can do that through your child's Focus, and that is for grades K through 12. So let's go ahead and move over here. This is kind of, bringing on 2020. It's still pouring on us and hurting us.
Yes, it is.
But encephalitis has been confirmed in Bradford County by the Florida Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services. The disease was found in a pony. But not only was it also found here in Bradford County, but they also found out Santa Rosa also had a pony that was affected by encephalitis.
Ladies and gentlemen, I promise you it's not the show pony.
Get that temperature gun.
Hit him again.
But, with this going on now, there's things that we can do to help prevent the breeding of mosquitoes.
Yep.
And one of those is drain all standing water.
Yes.
It doesn't matter if it's in pots, pans, dispose of old tires, old drums, just totally get rid of them. And, a lot of people have bird baths in their yard.
Yep.
So what you want to do is go out there, dump the water out of your bird bath. You want to clean it at least every other day.
Yep.
To make sure that, mosquito larvae does not form and develop. And to protect yourself, things that you can do is cover your skin while you're outside. Not only by using repellents, but by using your clothing and trying to do all your stuff during the daylight instead of the late evening, so gives your exposure to mosquitoes a less chance of you getting encephalitis. And now, when you use repellents, make sure that you use repellents with DEET, at least 30%, and that will help protect you from them getting on you.
Right.
But one other thing I want to mention tonight is we had a real bad accident on Friday on 301. A vehicle was apparently struck by another vehicle that supposedly had fled the scene. And this vehicle flipped 3 to 4 times, ejecting 3 passengers. And one of those passengers was a 20-year-old lady that lost her life. And the really bad thing is, the mother was following in another vehicle and saw the whole thing happen.
Oh my God!
And they were on their way to vacation in South Florida, and I think they were from Ohio.
Oh.
And so I just want to remind everybody, please wear your seatbelts. And I'm really bad about jumping in the car myself, cranking it up, and start driving.
I do too.
But one thing that I started reminding myself, I have a family that needs me every single day.
Yeah.
And what would my family do if I lost my life on something that could have been prevented? That takes 3 seconds to put on.
It's devastate them.
Yeah.
So please, try to remind yourself to put that seatbelt on. If you have to, put a picture of your family in the car on your dash to remind you of that.
Yeah. Mitchell and Dave and John, it's probably about time. Last year about this time when we were having all those accidents before you got really involved in getting a lot of these things either fixed or at least gotten a lot better, we was going over a lot of driving techniques, some safe driving tips. Mitchell, maybe on Tuesday's show, maybe you can, let's get some safe driving tips, and let's keep reminding people about that. It's probably a good idea, too.
The one thing our sheriff's department has done is have the teen safety driving course.
Yes.
And I'll tell you what, if you got a teen that just got their license, you need to put them in that driving course. And they will teach them all different types of things to, if your car breaks loose on wet weather, how to correctly correct it instead of overcorrect it. And a lot of times these accidents are caused because people try to do too much, or they don't know which way to turn their steering wheel if the rear end kicks out on them.
Right.
So, it's very important that you teach your kids that or put them in that program.
Right.
And always you have to drive defensively.
Yes, always.
So you always have to look for everybody else, make sure they're doing what they're supposed to do. Because most of the time these head-on collisions that we have on our roadways, both drivers are not paying attention.
We have, not only here in Florida, Mitchell, but in Bradford County either, but nationwide, and I'm the world's worst. I'll tell you right now, I'll pick this thing up. Dave Holland's trying to get a hold of me. Pip, pip, pip. I'm texting and driving. Because it's such a habit.
Right.
You know what I mean? Texting and driving. And I'll do it early in the morning, and I'm going to tell you what right now. That is so dangerous. And I'll sit here and tell you, I'll preach it, but, I need to practice what I preach.
Well,
and that is...
As of July 1st, you can now be
you're
ticketed for it.
Yeah, if they catch you.
So that's what they're looking for. I personally, because of what I drive for work and the certification that I have to drive it.
Right.
If I get a single ticket for being on my phone and driving, I lose my driver's license for 3 years.
Right, of course. Yeah.
But one thing that I've learned is how to drive defensively, because the truck that I drive is 28,000 pounds.
Of course.
And 28 foot long.
Right.
So people think that I can stop on a dime just because I hit the brake,
Right.
and it doesn't happen
No.
like that when
No,
I'm
it is
full
not.
loaded.
No.
So I know how to pace myself from other people that way, and I foresee this. I see this person in my rearview mirror going 110 coming up beside me. Like I know that they're going to be driving crazy, and I know how to react to that.
Let me ask you something, and answer that because I did. Do you text and drive?
No.
Good. Very good.
I can't. Because my focus.
Good. Good.
I can't do it. Now, I
can't
also,
either.
in my truck, in my work truck, I sit very high.
Right.
I sit as high as a semi.
Yes.
And so I can see everybody.
Right.
90% of the people that
I
I
knew
pass
that
on
was
the road are texting and driving.
Doesn't matter what time of the morning it is.
Doesn't matter what
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter who you are, what car you drive. A lot of them are semi drivers.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
thing
One
right
thing
here.
that I cannot, because I've always seen accidents happen, is people that drive with their knee up in the air or one leg in their window or one leg in their
Right.
seat. I see semi drivers driving with one leg in their seat, crisscross applesauce, with their phone in their hand, driving with one hand.
Kick back like they're in a living room.
Exactly. And I get that they drive for very long distances, and they might be on that road for
Absolutely.
12 hours. But at
Wow.
the same time, if I can go in my truck and pass you on I-4, and you don't even look up from your phone the entire time that I'm passing you, there's a problem.
I've set at a red light, turn green, car in front of me, wait, beep. She dropped that phone down and take off, and when she straightens up driving,
This usually
they're on the
goes
phone.
in my passenger seat,
Yep. That's
or it
right.
goes on the floor by my seat.
Because yes, so you physically have it.
It's,
Yes.
it's out of reach. And, with technology that we have in cars nowadays, your phone hooks up to your Bluetooth.
Yes, it does.
So if you need to call someone, all you have to do is hit the button
Yeah.
and say,
So
hey,
in my car,
call so-and-so, and it automatically calls them.
So I'm lucky in both of my vehicles. So in my work truck, I have a cubby above my radio console that I stick my phone in because I know where I'm going. So I don't need my GPS. So I stick my phone in the console and it stays there.
I put mine in my glove compartment.
That's
Or
excellent,
in my-
David. Excellent. Yeah, I'm going to start doing that too.
In my little race car I have out there, on the top of the dash, I've got a secret compartment that I push a button and it like pops up, and
Right.
I've got like a separate glove compartment. When I'm driving my car, it goes in there, and I don't mess with it.
That's good.
Because you're used to being on your phone all the time. I put it in my glove compartment, but I'm still driving down the road thinking, who's called? Who called?
Sure.
Oh, I want to say something.
You know what it is with me, Dave, and I think we're all busy guys, and y'all know me. I have a real busy schedule. I think for myself, I think is Mitchell's texting me something. It's got to be important. If I don't answer it, then I'm not going to answer it. And Mitchell's going to say, "Hey, man, I don't hear from you for a day." Well, I've forgotten about the message. So what do? Even if I'm driving, I pick up that phone and go click, 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 and I should do that. I should pull my tail over.
I've
and
done
then
that.
answer that instead of driving. Yeah. So I need to break that habit too, and I hope I'm glad you guys don't do it. That's awesome news, and it's very dangerous. And like
We don't
you said,
do it all
just
the
takes a
time.
split. I know, and I understand that, but at least you're doing a lot of times.
I have been guilty
Of course,
before.
we all are.
And then really think about what I'm doing and then throw it back in the passenger seat.
Yeah, of course. And then when you realize what you've done, and that's exactly right. But yeah, Mitchell, if we could come up with some safe driving stuff for Tuesday's show, I think that would be great. I want to get to some of our comments here. By the way, do you have something else?
Yeah, I just want to
Okay.
mention we also had another accident at 144th
Again.
and 100.
Yeah.
And that happened last weekend, I believe it was.
Mhm.
And everybody knows it's a bad area. So let's use caution there. We got some things coming from FDOT. I know I see a lot of comments all the time, but we need a traffic signal there. We need a traffic signal there. Well, I have had them do two surveys at that spot. We're not getting a traffic signal.
Okay.
They've already deemed that's not going to happen.
Okay.
So they're putting up these other signals that will give warning to people that's on State Road 100 that people are at 144th at that stop sign and also Griffiths Loop on the other side. So hopefully these gets installed this month. They told me that it would be anywhere from the end of the month of July to the mid of August that they will get installed. And also in that same amount of time, the flashing beacon for State Road 100 and 21B. So we just have to be patient. Things are coming. And I guarantee you, after the new school gets built, and that's another thing I wanted to touch on tonight.
Yeah.
After that new school gets built, they are off of 144th. I guarantee you they are going to have to put traffic signals there after that is done because it's going to be even more of an increase of traffic flow.
Right.
For that area. And we're also talking about kids' safety.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to rezone different areas where people are able to walk back and forth to school. So we're going to have a crossing guard there and crosswalks put in. So, and what comes with crosswalks? Traffic signals. So let's just bear with it. We'll get there eventually. Also, get back to the school board real quick. There's been talks, and finally we're going to get the money to build a new school. We're right behind ViStar. And this is going to be both for Southside Elementary and I believe the middle school.
Correct.
And they have changed the plan that it's not going to be a single-story school anymore. They're going to make it a 2-story school. So, and this will help also with different emergencies where personnel having to get to different places quicker. It will keep, long hallways from happening to get from one side to the other.
Right.
So I think it's a great idea to do that.
All right, that sounds good. I'm gonna get to some other comments here, and we'll stay on local seat for a minute. Shirley, yeah, that's open from 9 to 3 tomorrow, right? 9 to 3.
That's right.
9 to 3 tomorrow. Tex Johnson, that's a great idea. Split screen simulcast, and nobody misses anything. And I'm just messing with him, Tex. Austin is a great guy and young kid that's got some great ambition. I think one day he'll be a heck of a weatherman. He loves his weather. He loves his weather forecasts. He loves meteorology. And he, for the most part, Mitchell, he's pretty much spot on.
He is.
He's spot on. So good job. And that's 9 a.m. That is correct. Tex Johnson, you're welcome. I'm just messing with David. I know he's messing with me, and that's exactly right. The Springfield ARs, I'm going to look for you, Byron, for sure. Something's weird. I'm not able to view the live stream. Okay, was that today? Yes. Okay, Beret 50 Cal Auto with good class. Okay, we can look at that. Absolutely. For those out of reach and touch moments. That's exactly right, Raymond. You got that right.
I did see no Barretts there. So no Barrett 50 cals were there.
Yeah. Bart Norton, watching in from Louisiana. I hope your mom's doing good, Bart. I tell you, I've been doing this thing for 3 weeks now. I've got Negro helping me on the spot lawn maintenance. Brother, I have not been in Wednesday through Friday. I have not been in before 9:30 each and every night so I really miss you, but I understand what you got to do, and I hope your mom, your wife, and everybody's doing well. Jeff Riggins from Lake City, worked with him over at New Millennium. Jeff, I hope you're feeling better, brother. Glad that you can join in. R.G. Waters, how are you doing, sir? Shirley Bagwell says, I always wear my seatbelt. How could I harass Byron if I wasn't here? Ha ha ha, yes. Brandon Ludwig, thank you, sir, for joining in. Thank God for my seatbelt to save my life on August 1st, 2018. Yes, it did, Archie. Glad you still wear it. Yikes, 3 years. Better be careful, John. But that's smart. That's how that works. And that's exactly right. Yeah, that was weird. I guess y'all streaming was slow enough that Facebook did not like me, apparently. I don't know about that. So I think it's all good. It's just the way the internet is and the way everything is nowadays. Bart says, y'all be safe down there in Florida. I hope the storm is not going to cause a lot of problems for y'all. Hot and dry here in Louisiana right now. It's the same thing for us here, man. Gosh, Lee, the humidity's a killer here. What did we reach up today? What was the temperature today? About 95, 96, maybe a little more.
It felt like 101.
One or something, 102, something like that. Yes. But Lisa Hampton Thomas, thank you for watching. Glad that you could be on the spot with David Rodgers. I am your host, David Rodgers. To my left, Mr. John Probst. He's up from Tampa. come to visit us. He does our marketing and advertising. Mr. Dave Holland producing the show back there in the back. Say hello, David.
Hello, David.
Say hello, John.
Hello.
Byron, say hello.
Hello.
Oh, we're missing Byron Bagwell, but he's on with us during hitting some comments here for us. Mr. Mitchell Gunner, glad to have you back, sir. About time.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, how was that special assignment for you? A little rough one?
It was good, but I did find out what they're going to do.
What are they going to do?
Actually, Dragon Endeavor will be returning tomorrow.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
it will not be splashing down in the Atlantic.
Oh,
It will be splashing down in the Gulf.
in the golf.
Yes, I was listening to that. So they're they have the pod prepped because of they fear the seas are going to be very rough,
Right.
with the winds and the storms. So they actually, I was listening to NPR on the way here, and they talked to one of the astronauts, and they said that they've got plenty of towels, medications, and bags like they give you on the airplane. Because when it's the first touchdown in 45 years.
45 years,
Right.
that's right. Yeah.
So they said they've got it set to where if they get sick, they're covered until
Good.
somebody can come and get them.
Right.
That's
And
awesome.
they're supposed to splash down around 7:43 tomorrow afternoon.
Tomorrow afternoon, so we'll be able to watch that live, huh? Because you know they're going to cover it. NASA
Right,
Channel,
yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah.
That'll be covered. That's going to be history in the making again.
That's right. And
Yeah.
then just the other day, we launched another
Yes, we did.
rover
Rover.
to Mars, and to get more details and see if there was, life before. So it's going to be digging around. This thing is actually huge compared to what we have sent before.
Yeah.
I think it weighs like 4,900 pounds.
Yeah, I think so.
It's a pretty heavy thing, about the size of a golf cart. Is what they're saying, and so hopefully we can find out some more mysteries of Mars.
That's supposed to touch down sometime in 2021.
Right.
And that drone that they sent up there too, and that.
I got a trivia question for you, gentlemen. Do you know the only two items that are on the moon right now that we left?
Yeah.
The flag.
Oh, is one?
And a small drone or removable.
You're getting there.
Kind of like what we're sending up there now to Mars, but smaller versions.
It's called the Endeavor, the car, the little space car.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yes.
that thing.
That thing, yes.
But actually, there were two of them up there.
That's correct. Yeah. So they're still up there.
We got our flag up there.
Hey, you know,
We on the
do you know
moon.
why they haven't brought that back yet? They don't know how to get it back yet.
Yeah.
They're trying to figure out a way to get that back down. So that's why in 40, what was it, John? You said 45, whatever it is. That happened in 1971. July 29th or 30th of 1971 is when they took that car up. Because remember, they planted a flag in 69, and then, of course, the car went up there in 1971. So almost 40 years.
And the last splashdown was in 75.
In 75, yes. So
Because all the rest of them were
Yeah.
landed on runways.
runways. Yeah.
And I'll tell you, right now we're in a move to try to put somebody on Mars.
Yeah.
We want to beat these other countries.
Yes, we do.
We want to be first at everything like we once were. Even though the Russians did beat us to space first.
Yes.
They did beat us to space first. But, we're trying to get back to number one on everything.
Yes,
Yeah,
we
trying
And
to.
that right there gives you American pride.
Oh, no, just had another spotting, ladies and gentlemen. Brother Louis Heater, Sister Christian Heater, Cousin Mr. Roboto Heater, and Sister Golden Hair Surprise Heater, Uncle Jack Sparrow Heater, Great Uncle Bigfoot Sasquatch Heater, and Great Aunt Mrs. Bigfoot Sasquatch Heater just got a report from Sarge, spotted them in Lulu.
Man, Lulu.
Sarge, way to be on it, brother.
Yeah.
Love ya. There you go, in Lulu. How about that? John, who do you got on your watch party? Anybody you want to say hello to?
He's so cracked up he can't talk.
Oh, he's so cracked up he can't talk. How about you, David?
I'm blind.
By the light? You blinded by the light, wrapped up like a you-know-what, and roller in the night?
Okay.
Well, guess it.
Hey,
Well, guess it.
I was going to
Well,
send. I was going to send David to get tested for COVID, but guess what?
I saw all it.
They're not testing right now all over the state of Florida due to the storm. But I do have some new numbers.
Oh, do you?
So these are the new numbers.
Let's get some new numbers.
We're going to stay in for a little while. Positive cases so far for the state of Florida. We've had 501,679. There was 9,642 new cases today. Deaths since March 1st, 7,144. And 178 deaths today. Go ahead and jump over here to our local area. Alachua County now is at 3,671 cases. They had 64 new cases today. 0 deaths. Death toll for Alachua County is 22. Go ahead and get over here in Bradford.
While he's doing that, did y'all send... Dave, I didn't get a chance to send you because it came through via email. John, I need to get your email address too. Some interesting reading. Did you see what I sent you the other day? Or my GM,
I probably have not.
My GM, Mark Ripke's all over these COVID numbers. He, we're on this COVID thing, and he's all over it each and every day. He always gets on us if we're not wearing our mask in certain places, this and that, shields, whatever it is that we need to do. But as of Thursday, the number one county in the United States per 100,000 was Columbia County in the whole country.
For what?
For COVID-19 positive results.
And Alachua County.
Number one?
Number one.
And Alachua County's right behind them.
Wow.
Per capita.
Per capita, yeah. There were some places out of Texas, a couple out of Arizona, but Columbia County, number one in the country. How about that? Per 1,000, or 100,000, excuse me.
Well, in Baker County, they have 371 total cases, 15 new cases. They have 4 deaths, but none here recently. We have Bradford County. Unfortunately, we have went up 7 more new cases, so we're at 339. And yes, we have had 1 more death, so now we're at 4 deaths.
Yes.
We'll jump over here to, let's go to Citrus County.
Yeah.
1,261 cases. They had 23 new cases since yesterday and 2 deaths since yesterday, and their death toll is at 29. Clay County is sitting at 2,916 with 45 new cases since yesterday. No new deaths. Their death total is at 48. Go over here to Columbia. You just mentioned Columbia a while ago.
Yep.
They're at 2,564 with 74 new cases since yesterday. 0 deaths. They're holding at 10 deaths so far.
That's a better report than what we were getting a couple of days ago.
Now, this is the scary one because we always know Dade was always real high in their numbers.
Yes.
They're at 126,667 total positive cases. 2,745 new cases since yesterday and 36 new deaths since yesterday, with the death toll at 1,663. And that is for Dade. And this is why they're worried all down around the South about the hurricane coming in and how they're going to treat people who are tested positive for COVID, those who've got symptoms of COVID, and see how they're going to place them in these shelters or these hotel rooms. Duval County is now at 22,179 cases with 284 new cases since yesterday and 5 new deaths since yesterday. And their death total is at 163. Flagler County, 964 with 18 new cases since yesterday. 0 deaths since yesterday. Their death toll is at 11. We will go over here to St. John's. If my phone will work for me.
While you're doing that, I'll get on to something here. Austin says, yeah, that was weird. I guess y'all's stream was slowing up that Facebook didn't like me, apparently. Of course, I know it wasn't that. Barton says, y'all be safe, which we are going to. You got that number now?
Yes, I do. St. Johns County is at 3,535 cases. They have 48 new cases since yesterday and 2 new deaths since yesterday,
Wow.
bringing their death total to 28. And I tell you, these numbers, we don't really know what's true and
Right.
what's false. And that's the main thing that we worry about. Are we getting told the correct information when it's being presented to us?
Well, we gotta take it
Yeah, you still got
for
to
what it is. There's-
right?
Whether they're high or low, there's still numbers there that are.
And it is
Right.
hospitalizing people, and it is
People are
killing
dying.
people. And
Right.
people are dying, which I want to
Yeah.
do an experiment coming up with you guys. A couple of experiments if we've got a little time, which I think we do. But I'd like to do an experiment with you guys. I think y'all find it interesting.
Putnam County, 1,326 positive cases total, with 16 new cases since yesterday and 1 death. So you're starting to see 1 or 2 deaths in these counties starting to pop up every 2 or 3 days, and that's not real good news. Now talking about pediatric cases, dealing with kids. So far, we're at 37,196 with ER administrative cases with kids in the hospital.
Right.
2,325, and we have had 5 deaths of kids. So this is where parents are starting to worry a little bit
About school.
sending their
Yes.
kids to school.
Yeah.
And this is no fault of our school system or any school system in the state of Florida. I think the school systems are doing a great job of trying to give parents options. If you don't want to send your kids to school, you can do the school on computer,
Right.
virtually. And there's going to be a lot of people that's going to keep their kids home and do virtual school.
Of course.
And when this happens, to go ahead and let you know, this will hurt our schools
Yes.
because they will not get the total tax money back for each one of those kids that are attending
Right.
in school. So it's just going to start to hurt them.
Yeah.
And then what do you do when you got teachers but hardly students? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that's going on that's going to affect us one way or another.
And it's going to affect Mitchell. It's going to affect everybody because teachers, yes, can do their teaching in the classroom and over the internet or the computer or stream whatever they're using or they're going to use. But how about these parents that are needed in the classroom? Well, are they going to be? They're not really certified as a teacher. Are they going to be able to administer these classes and help out these teachers that may, with the students or at school? You see, You may have a split student, but you also may have a split faculty as well at all these schools.
And we really don't know what's going to happen until it happens.
Right.
I mean, we don't know what's going to happen. The good thing is kids are more resilient to the coronavirus than us as older people.
Yeah.
So they're able to whip it majority of time. As you can tell, we don't want no kids to die.
No.
But you can see in those numbers how many child deaths that we have had and how many child cases that we've had.
Right.
And we also don't know how many of those kids that did pass away from the coronavirus, what other ailments and health problems they had that, helped them.
Which, of course, we won't know because of the HIPAA laws.
Right.
Of course, with HIPAA, you're not going to be able to find that out. So what you were saying, Dave, those numbers skewed, or how bad are they skewed? We don't know. John, Dave, we don't know. It's just one of those things is we do know there's a disease out there, and it is hospitalizing. It's making people sick, and it's killing people eventually. So that's one of the things that you got to keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen. No matter what we think or how this thing is come about, is it a political agenda? That's up to you to decide. Do I think it is? Me personally, I think some of it is.
They're going to use
They're going to use it.
Yes.
No good crisis goes to waste. So, of course, political parties are using this, and which one
They're
particularly
trying to use it for leverage.
for leverage. along with the other things as well, what's going on in the United States right now, and I'll get into that here in just a few minutes. But I know you had another number that was real interesting right there.
I know we live in an area where a lot of our loved ones work.
Yes.
In the Department of Corrections.
Right.
And as of right now, in our prison system and here in the state of Florida, we have 10,364 cases, and we've had 49 prison deaths from COVID. So I wanted to put that number out there as well because we're in an area where we have a lot of prisons, and we have a lot of our population that works out there.
Yeah, a lot of our people work out there. You're exactly right. So great job, Mitchell, as always, on your report. I wanted to get some things on here on some comments before I go into a couple of other things. Austin said it reached a high of 96 today. I felt every bit of it.
Yes.
With a heat index of 107.
There you go.
There you go. The hot and calm before the proverbial, the hot and calm before the proverbial storm, as he puts it. Absolutely. Megan Parmenter, Southern Gym Photo Booths. How are you, ma'am? Glad to have you on. Bart says, I'm working 12-hour days Monday through Friday right now. September 12th starts 14-hour days, 7 days a week. Mama's hanging in there and fighting the disease that she has. We're praying for you and your mom, Bart. Really miss you here. I know I do. But we'll be thinking about you and your mom over there. Y'all keep safe over there. Wendy Russell is watching, our Assistant Deputy Director here. Wendy, welcome in. Austin's Weather Service. Busted. Lots of laughs. I don't know who he's talking to there. Lisa Thompson, you can thank Columbia Correctional for Columbia being so high in numbers. They have over 1,000 inmates with the COVID.
Yeah, we had Corey and Brown go home.
Yeah, and actually you can, if you go on and download the dashboard onto your phone, and you look up, if you go through, it will go to the prisons, every last one of them. It will tell you how many positive inmates in each one of those prisons.
Right. Chris Brantley from Lake City's watching our work with Chris. Hello, Chris. How's it going, buddy? I hope you had a fun day today. It was hot. I stayed inside. Fat people hate the heat, he says.
True.
Well, let me join the club. I'm fat, too.
Oh, and also, sorry to jump in there, but it will also tell you how many people that have tested positive that are staff in each one of those prisons.
Yes,
as well,
yes.
On there.
So that's a good, yes.
And you're right, Columbia County, 1,258, 67 of them are staff.
I told you. Yeah. That's why the numbers are so high. All right.
I want to bring something up.
Sure.
So you were talking about Paris in the schools.
Mm-hmm.
My mind automatically goes to bus drivers as well.
Yeah.
Because these kids have to get to school somehow.
They do.
Yep.
And it's very hard to socially distance on a school bus.
Yes, it is.
And if it is, this county, of all counties in the state, does not have enough drivers.
That is exactly
to be
right.
able to split it up. I mean, there are drivers that, I mean, we're having to pull drivers from you. We had to pull drivers from Union County last year.
Yeah.
To cover routes because we didn't have enough drivers as it was. Imagine if we have to add 5 or 6 more buses.
Exactly. And there's a possibility you may have to. Like you were saying, John, this area being so rural, we pick up from the back end of Brooker all the way to the Highlands here and anywhere in between.
Well, I grew up in Highland.
Highlands. So you had to ride a bus to school, so you already know. I mean, even from Highlands to Lawdy was what, a 10, 12-minute ride anyway, either way. So you see how big this county is. Wow. Can you imagine now, as John says, having to add more bus drivers because of
social distancing in a school bus?
As far as I know, they're not doing that.
Really?
They're not adding extra buses and extra routes.
So I was, again, listening to NPR today, and they had a bus driver from Indiana that had a similar county as this one.
Yeah.
And most bus drivers, in wherever you are typically older people.
Yes,
they are.
They're not always 20-something-year-olds. They're rarely 20-something-year-olds. They're always, 40s to 60s.
That's
My grandmother is
usually it's a retirement job for some people. A lot of people, it's a retirement job.
My grandma is up there as well, and she's been driving a school bus for almost 30 years.
See?
And she's terrified because she also drives ESC students.
Right.
And so they're medically, they have underlying conditions. And so if we can't, but this lady that was talking on NPR, she said that the county said that to socially distance, they were limiting school buses to 40 students a school bus, which is 2 students per seat.
Well, when you mention that, with students that may be doing virtual school, that's not going to be doing the brick and mortar, they're going to do option 2. This may allow where we don't have as many students on those bus routes as well.
But
when I think about the people in this county, not any other county, but the people that I know in Bradford County,
right,
and especially with the internet issues that we have,
right,
and the fact that the school system they just literally cannot give every single family a hotspot, I don't think that we're going to have as many virtual options.
Well, they've actually found out those hotspots that they did lend out to some of the students, they still did not work because they could not connect.
Yeah. I mean, you can go to Verizon and get a hotspot, but that doesn't mean that it's going to work.
That's right.
Yeah, and you know, can everybody afford one, John? You know, that's the other thing.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
you know what the
And those are
what the
walking
income here in Bradford County is. I mean, you know,
And what Duval County done, they put hotspots on buses and drove them into different neighborhoods for
Well, that's
students
what
to
they're
jump
doing.
on.
That's
But-
what they're doing down there where I live,
Right.
in Pasco and like Hillsborough and Pinellas, all those counties down there. What they're doing is they're taking like surveillance vans per se, old vans, and they're installing hotspots in them, and they're going to park multiple in each neighborhood.
I've heard that
They're going to
too.
have like a schedule and say, okay, well in this neighborhood, you know, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, these 2 vans are going to be in this neighborhood from 9 to 11. You can come. There'll be picnic tables around them. You can come do your work there.
Right.
But in this county, I mean, you put most of the places that people live in the rural county. I mean, you put one van, that's going to cover one house. It's not
Right.
gonna
yeah,
reach the
yes,
next house,
right,
you
yeah.
know?
Yeah, it's
You
gonna be-
almost have to travel, and I agree with John. That you almost have to travel into town, Mitchell. You know what I'm saying? To be able to get any kind of a great connection, and y'all know how that is already.
When I lived,
That
when
is
I lived
spotty.
in Highland,
Oh,
I
I can
couldn't do
imagine.
homework.
No.
I had to do it in
You had to do it in Star. You had a library or somewhere. You know what I mean?
Right.
How many seats is the library going to be able to hold? They're practicing social distancing too. I mean, you know,
Yeah.
like you said, where are these places and these spots going to come from?
The fact
guess
of the
that's what's
matter is, we are not going to be able to accommodate to every person
No, you
how
could
we want to.
because with the virtual select, which is your option 2, you must do a full semester at a time. You have a flex daily schedule though, but a home should have internet 24/7
See, that's
for limited outages. And see, we have a hard time
yes, we do.
because we always got
We
someone
have more
that's-
outages than we have connections.
that's cutting fiber optic
Yeah,
in Orange Park or Middleburg or Palatka, and when they cut it,
comes
it
right
knocks
here.
us out, and we don't have
Yeah,
internet service. So, I mean, it's going to be a learning curve. I mean, everyone's still trying to learn from it. Everybody's, weary. It's
But at the end of the
everybody-
day-
it's the anxiety
What
of
they've
what is going to
done-
happen.
What they've done in Scotland, I think, is where it was really successful. So they did, instead of full classroom sizes, they moved the paras that they had as teachers and coaches and everything. And so each teacher had all the course study that they needed. That group was 10 to 12 students per adult, and that was the group that they stayed in every day. They didn't,
That's interesting.
You didn't go to 6 different classes like you were at the high school.
stayed there and did each one of your subjects.
Just
right.
like when you were in elementary school,
Right.
you were in kindergarten, you stayed with the same
Right.
teacher all day long. And
Just
they
like
covered
old
all the
school.
subjects.
Yeah, old school. Oh,
The
like,
same
yeah,
thing.
I like that, dude.
And they said that they haven't had any positive cases in the last month
Really?
and a half when they started school.
Wow. That's an option there. I like that.
But the problem is, in this county, we don't have enough staff and support staff to move.
Right.
If we took all the support staff in the entire county and all the school systems, we might be able to furnish that at the high school, maybe.
Well, let me
Because I
ask you
think
this.
Right now, we have quite a few openings for teachers at
Yeah.
this point.
They're
in
still
time.
on- they
Teachers,
start on
coaches,
film.
support staff. There's openings
And a
for
lot of
everyone.
that is the unknown, what is going to happen.
Right.
there's a lot of unknown. If I go, am I going to get it? Am I going to get COVID? Or the student's going to give me COVID? Or am I going to get COVID?
And that's the
or give
hardest
it
part
to a
because
kid,
most-
and then the kid passes away because I brought COVID to school. How am I going to be able to live with myself?
Yeah.
I mean, you got all these things going on in both parents, children, and faculty.
Well, okay,
in the
this
school
is a
system.
great topic of discussion because I like what John brought up. And of course, there's always a pros and cons to it, right? You're right. We're understaffed right now. What's an average class, John? 24 to 30?
Like
What's in it?
28 to 32.
28, 32.
I know
Okay.
a teacher
That'd
at
be
high school
for
has-
your high school.
Okay. But just an okay. Elementary school, 22 to 26?
I think it's like 22
Okay.
for a class.
So if each teacher's got a teacher and a para, I like John's idea. Split them. Hey, para takes 12. The other teacher takes 12. She can give the para her teaching plan, blah, blah, blah. You can go on with it. Here's my question to all that. Already, where are you going to put these? Where are you going to set this? If you got Mrs. Smith that's got 12 over here, where are you putting Mrs. Tanner that's the para? Where are you putting those students?
Right.
So if she's got the classroom, where are you taking those
Well,
students? I know you can use the gym. You can
Can't
probably
use the gym because you want to know why they can't use
Ah,
the gym. Well, the middle school
schools,
gym.
yeah.
Middle school gym is going to be used to be split up
Yes.
your lunches so they can spread
Spread
other
out.
people out.
Yeah, I forgot about
What
that.
they
Yep.
what they did
What they doing
in
is-
Scotland was they did outside classes a lot. So if the weather was nice and you could go outside,
Mhm.
that class was outside.
Okay, I can buy that.
The problem is they also don't have the violence issues that we have. So when we
Right.
move students to an outside setting,
Yeah.
no matter what anybody says, I don't care what you say, when you move kids outside, they become more vulnerable.
Well, yeah, of course.
And in this day and age, the goal is not to make them more vulnerable.
Right.
There is not, I haven't seen
Right.
a school in this county that can put kids outside for a class and not be seen by every major road on the outside.
And also too, not only with outside influence, how about with inside? You know, some of these kids has got some aggressions that are built up. They're just looking for trouble. I hate to say that, but it is. That's just the honest truth. You know what I mean? You got a kid and you got a class that's outside, and all of a sudden he's fighting with the teacher or whatever. Now, how fast is it going to take administration to get out there to that particular incident? You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So you got all kinds of issues and all kinds. That was just one of them.
One of the biggest things that people have been talking about is mental health,
Yes.
because that's important in a child's life,
Yep.
no matter their
It's
age.
part of their development.
So what's going to happen is if they go back to school, then they're going to be freaking out. Am I going to get the virus? Most kids are asymptomatic when they have it. A lot of them are. More are than not. So you never know who's coming to school with it and doesn't have a fever, doesn't have a cough,
Correct.
and who they're going to give it to. So a lot of people are going to be freaking out about that, which doesn't help your mental health. But then if you stay home, you have no social outing. You don't talk to anybody. You don't see anybody except for the people in your house. That might not always be the best situation, and that's surely not going to help your mental health either.
Well,
You
are they
become an
gonna,
introvert.
well, are they gonna
Right.
Are they gonna make all the students go back to school, or you have a choice
No, they have a
to
choice.
do
You have a choice.
in?
You have
Two
option
choices.
1 and option 2. Option 1 is brick and mortar, which is your regular school. They catch a school bus, they go to regular school
Right.
as a regular day.
Yeah.
And the option 2 is for the virtual select, which they can complete semesters on the computer. But with that, you got to have access to the internet
Right.
24/7, which we have a major problem here in Bradford County. I don't know what we have to do as a community or what we have to do to talk to our leaders to try to bring in
A
the
quality,
internet, a
the
quality
internet service. Yes.
that not only that our kids need to use for school, but also for infrastructure to bring businesses into Bradford County
Yeah.
so we can thrive and have a tax revenue base so we can actually get more stuff for our schools, better pay for our teachers, better stuff for our sheriff's department, our police department, our fire
That's
rescue.
the whole county. Yeah.
I mean,
economic growth for our county.
You got to have it. You got to have those things put in there. And internet is the way that you have to go. You have to have good internet service for a community to strive and do great in this time and age.
Do you know most
we are no longer in the 50s.
No.
Okay, it's time to start open up the box and start throwing things out of it and saying, hey, this stuff doesn't work. We have to go with this, and we have to get this into our community, and we have to reach out.
We have the
to
technology.
AT&T. Well, we got Xfinity now, but we need something here that's going to work when we need it to work. Not get on there and say, well, it ain't working today. I'll try back in an hour and a half. No. When we fire up our computers for businesses or for our own personal reasons, it should be like that, just the way it is in any other community in the state of Florida or throughout the United States.
I know a company, computer, electronics, and logistics. They're Gunner Space. That's the name of them. Are they related?
No, not related.
Well, as both of y'all, hey, as Mitchell was saying, this ain't Leave It to Beaver anymore. This ain't Wally and Cleaver. You know what I'm saying? Those days are gone.
We got to be more technically sound for our community.
Every business, Mitchell, you know this. John, you've been around long enough now. Dave, every business that you see has at least some kind of computer that they're checking. Your records are filed that way anymore.
Yeah.
Anything that you do, you need to have computer skills and computer access. And if you want to research anything, you have got to have the internet. You got to connect to somewhere. Don't connect to outer
space. Do you know how
space.
aggravating it is for a teacher that is teaching an IT class, either at the VOTEC or the middle school or at the high school, and they're getting online and she or he is showing the class different things, and then boom, the internet goes
I'm sorry,
out.
guys.
And then it's out for 2 or 3 days because some jacknut cut a fiber optic line 4 or 5 cities away from us.
You used the word jacknut.
Because someone didn't call 811 DIG, we lost our internet service.
Yeah.
Well, we all got phones, kids. They all got phones. Why can't we just pre-record the class and have them scheduled to do it after it's downloaded?
I know one thing, and I hope that we have a great school year, and I hope everything works out great, because I just don't look at the teachers that's being punished through this thing, or the children. But, like John's talking about, and I've thought about, you got cafeteria workers. They're not getting a paycheck.
No.
Not until the school starts back. Your bus drivers, your bus aides, they're not getting a paycheck. Your paraprofessionals, they're not getting a paycheck. So, this is why we want to get school back going, is so that we can give paychecks to people to support their families.
You got to remember, most of those people that Mitchell just mentioned are 10-month employees.
Right.
There's not a lot of 12-month employees in Bradford County. There is some, but there's not a lot. So most of these people are relying on a 10-month salary to make it throughout their year, like you were saying, to support their families, to get what they need on a 10-month salary. It is hard.
And it's hard because their 10-month salary is not very much money.
No, it's not.
Because you want to know why? Because we can't bring in businesses to give us the tax base to support everything.
Exactly right.
So we can't keep on shooting ourselves in the foot by not letting our county grow, or make sure that we got reliable internet service for our school or for new businesses coming in.
Well,
and, I'm a very involved person.
Absolutely.
And if I have to go scream and holler, hey, what do we got to do? We've got to contact companies. We got to give them tax break to bring them in here for the first place, or they're not going to come. They're going to make their money back off. We're going to make our taxes back off of everything by let's get this in here and let's start working on that infrastructure.
Do you know who should be screaming right now, gentlemen and viewers? You know who should be screaming right now? The Bradford County Development Authority. Boy, they should be the one revving up somebody's tail going, hey, give me some internet service. Give me a tax break on my utilities here so we can bring in a business like I was talking to you about several months ago, Amazon, who would probably love to be right there near a hub but they're not
Hubs is the way to go. It doesn't
wonder
matter
what-
if it's UPS,
It doesn't matter,
Amazon,
Zon.
FedEx. All these companies
Lowe's, it
are
doesn't
looking
matter.
for places to put hubs.
Yes.
And those hubs will probably put 70 to maybe 100 people to work in each one
In
of
each
them.
one of them.
You know, and I've been screaming about warehouses, but you know, maybe Bradford's not strong enough or big enough or close enough to the interstate to bring those in there. But those little hubs,
And I
they
think it
come
is
right
Mitchell.
off of 10, come right up 301. They drop the stuff off at the hub.
Yeah.
That hub will take care of Columbia County, Union County,
Alachua,
Bradford, parts of Clay,
Yeah.
parts of Alachua.
Northeast corner of the state
Man,
of Florida.
And with the bypass in now, that's even better.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to bypass all that stuff again. That's why it's called a bypass. So I agree with you.
And we got
We
the
got that
opportunity,
option.
and we got the opportunity to move stuff out there, and a lot of things that help with development in that area is that a lot of people worry about the light bill for the city of Stark.
See, that's the other
Well,
problem.
that out there will actually be Clay Electric or FPL, and they won't have that high electric bill that the city of Stark has.
That's exactly right.
So that's another opportunity for them to save money to be in a location like that off of a bypass.
Right.
Yeah.
And hate to get off subject with the
No,
schools, but
because it all ties in. This all ties in.
we've got to do something for our school system, for our county and our tax base. I get sick and tired of driving 30 miles to work every day. I would
Amen.
love to just drive 7 miles and go to work right here in my own county, get off of work, go to my grocery store right here and spend my tax dollars in my own county.
Yeah.
And by not doing that and having to go outside and work in other counties, everybody does it. I do it. I get low on gas. I've got to have gas. But where I have to buy my gas at?
You're going to buy them games.
Alachua County.
Yeah, Alachua County.
And Alachua County takes my tax revenue instead of Bradford County.
Best job I ever had was at SMI Joyce. I drove 9 miles to go to work, 10 miles to go to. Oh my God, how perfect was that?
Right.
Now you're driving 30 miles?
Right.
You're driving 30 miles.
Well,
I'm
you
driving
think-
46 or 47 miles
When I bought my
to
car,
get a decent
Right.
paying job now.
when I bought my car, it had 13,000 miles on it.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
It's got 99,000 miles on it because you want to know why? Have to drive back and forth to work, Gainesville, every single day, back and forth.
Yeah.
Now, you know what? The mileage would be cut 3/4 less if I had a job right here in Bradford County. And
Yeah,
I would love to work right
yeah.
here in Bradford County.
I'm fortunate. I'm a
Absolutely.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
mile from work.
Yeah.
I need gas. Leave the shop. I'm
And even
half
if
a
you didn't
mile
have gas,
from
you could walk.
Walmart.
If your
Yeah.
car broke down, you could work.
Well, actually, you
walk
could
to work.
take your horse and buggy to work.
They can call me and say, Dave, got a customer. I'll be there in 2 minutes.
Not a problem. Let me get my horse and buggy.
And I'm one of those type of people. I mean, if we got people that's viewing and they're scared to pick up the telephone and call certain people and say, hey,
They should be.
we would like you to come in and look at our infrastructure and tell us how much it's going to cost, what we have to do, what kind of tax incentives do you need for us to have this. Give me their gosh darn number.
Yeah,
Let
you
me
could.
call. Let me get a hold of our state senator or state congressman, or even talk to the ones up there in Washington D.C. and see what we can do to put a plan together.
How about let's do this, Mitchell?
do this?
Let's do this, Mitchell. Let's let our politicians start doing their jobs. How about we start ringing their damn phone off the hook and let them start doing their job? Why should Mitchell have to do their job for
They
them?
have a job.
They should. Well, some of them say that they do, John. I agree. But hey, start putting your politicians to work on things like this instead of trying to have division with amongst each other and get to working and work together to help places like Bradford County and places all over the country that need this kind of thing to help support their community.
Yeah.
No, they want to sit there and they want to cause division. They want to cause turmoil because they want power. They want money. And that's what it's all about. It's all about control.
I tell you what, we got two great people that work in our community, in our district up there in Tallahassee. We got Rod Bradley
Yep.
and we got Bobby Payne. And I'm telling you, them are two great people that we have had
Absolutely.
serving us up there in Tallahassee. Those things that with the road that I've been working on would not have got done if it wasn't with the help of Bobby Payne's office.
Yeah.
And he stepped up and he helped me. And when we run in together at an event, he's like, Mitchell, how's it going? And he's got the details right there. He can tell me what's going on and everything. So those two people have been serving our community very well.
Okay.
And, you know, I don't have no problem of trying to bring businesses in here in Bradford County. And I get it. We've got a lot of people who live here. They don't want us to grow. But you know what? If you want your students, your kids to do well, you want our educators to do well, you have to invest in them. And by investing in them is bringing businesses in here.
Right.
You know, and I tell you, the one thing, you know, the hubs that we've been talking about,
right?
the hubs will not hurt the small businesses.
It will not.
Here in Bradford County. And that's what we're
As a matter of fact, it's going to help them to get them their supplies quicker.
Right. We're not asking for Lowe's or Home Depot to come in here. We're asking for hubs to come in here.
Right.
Warehouses create jobs. And when you have those jobs, and, you know, we can't fill all of those with people who live in here in Bradford County. We're going to have people come from Union, Clay, up the road in Duval, right on the other side of the county line.
Yep.
They're gonna come in here and they're gonna work and they're gonna spend their tax revenue right here in this county, just like everybody else does.
I'm gonna give you a little thing too.
Right.
I'm gonna give you a little thing too. The lumberyard up there at Maxville.
Right.
Do you know why that's not in Stark? Do you know why that's not in Stark? I've talked to a couple of people. What have you been saying the whole time? They can't get a break.
Yeah, you got to give them taxes.
The other part of Maxville is in Union County, is it not? It's in Union. It's actually changed its name now. Yeah. But yes, because they couldn't get a tax break here. So they moved it out. Okay, well, we'll just go over to Duval County then. It's not a problem. They'll give us a tax break. We're on the outside of the city, and here we go. Now they've got a successful business over there. Yeah, I know they've had their struggles, but they employ 75, 80, 90, 100 people over there. Yeah. And that's 75, 80, 90, 95, or 100 people that we could have employed right here. Hey, it supplies lumber everywhere. What do they buy? They're buying a damn gum terminal. They're buying a railway. They ship that stuff on rail. They ship that stuff on truck.
It costs a lot of money to put a spur in.
It does.
But
we have existing spurs, though, Mitchell.
Yes, we do.
We have existing spurs that can be used that aren't being utilized right now.
Yeah.
What are we doing, gentlemen? What are we doing, ladies and gentlemen?
And you don't think that CSX wouldn't mind putting a spur in
or
more transportation on their railway so they can make money? You better believe they're going to be for it.
Well, I mean, it all boils down to, like, if I were ready to, like, settle down and build a family right now, I don't want my kid going to school here because why would I want my kid going to a school that doesn't have enough money to pay their teachers, a county that doesn't have enough money to pay their teachers? And my kid may spend 1 year in the classroom with 3 different teachers. Right. One of them being a sub that they put in there for 9 weeks.
Right.
You know, why not just build up what we have and give them whatever break they can? If it's going to help children in the long run, if it's going to help the county in the long run, who cares if they get a tax break?
You got to be a businessman, and you got to be able to know how to talk to people, because when you go to talk to companies to bring them in here, you have to sell them Bradford County. You have to say, this is why you need to come here.
Right.
Yeah.
This is what we can do for you.
Right.
Because in the meantime, you're going to do this for us. And that is what it's all about.
And you know what's going to happen?
I don't think we have enough of people that can actually has the business mindset that can sit down and do it.
Yeah, you don't think there's people that can make the presentation.
Right. You don't have to have a degree.
No, you don't.
You don't have to have a degree in economics. You just got to have common sense.
I guarantee you, us four right here, if we sat down for 2 or 3 weeks, I bet you, and Byron too, I bet you we could come up with a proposal that we can bring some business in here. You don't think we could? I guarantee you,
It's a
us
business
five,
plan.
we could sit
Well,
here
here's-
for 3 weeks, and after we did it, we could present it, and I bet you we can sell it.
Let's sell Stark.
Here's what I don't understand. People complain about small businesses not being open all the time, not having enough staff. Why are they not open all the time? Why do they not have enough staff?
Because they're not making the money.
They're not getting enough business.
Right.
So why not bring an Amazon hub in here? Hire 100 damn people to come work in this Amazon warehouse. I don't care if they're coming from Timbuktu. I don't care if they're coming from Adele, Georgia.
Right.
When they get here, 15 to 20% are going to pack their lunch. The rest of them are going to drive to Stark and get something to eat.
Or are they going to
Are they
order
gonna-
and have it delivered?
Exactly.
And also, you know what?
Buy
On the
gas
way
before
home, they're going to
you
buy
go
their
in.
cold beer here, and guess what else? They're going to buy their gas here and everything else, and all that is.
Well, you know
just
what
the-
happens
the
before all that
revenue,
happens,
you know?
don't you? You got construction that's going on.
Mhm.
That building's got to be built. Guess what?
Yeah.
If they got that material at Jackson's Building Supply, and they got it at Home Depot in Gainesville, and the price is pretty much the same, where are they going to go get the material from?
Oh, they're going to drive to Gainesville. They're
They-
going to drive to People's Republic.
No, they're going to go.
What?
No, they're going to go.
Are
To
you talking?
Jackson's.
Are you talking about if the price is the same?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
No,
this-
but if the price is cheaper,
But then you got to be a businessman because you got to.
you got to remember the fuel. Yes, and your truck driving that you're using.
and our
That's
wages
exactly right.
to get there and back. So
Yeah.
it's actually probably cheaper to just buy it at Jackson's.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff.
Well,
You're
there-
not going to get everything that you need at Jackson's, but some of it you can.
yeah. Well, there's also that 100+ people that are coming into work. They're not all living in town right now, so they're going to have to find homes to be close to their job.
That's correct.
Then guess what you got? You
Yeah.
got development.
Next.
Yes.
You got
Well,
houses
that's a
being
big
built.
word for this town.
Houses being sold.
It's a
Scary,
big
I
word.
think.
And when that development comes, what comes with it? You got underground, what?
Utilities, and
Yes.
then you got more growth because they're all going to have babies, and
And then what
Bigger
happens?
schools.
You got tax revenue, more
Yeah,
tax
revenue
revenue.
goes up.
and you can put in more sewage treatment plants. Like
Right.
they're talking about putting one in out there by the Bradford County Fairgrounds to supply the south end of the county out toward the bypass.
Right.
You
Wow.
got to get the infrastructure in some.
Guys, let me just
area.
table it. Let me move on. John, I know you had some. I've had a lot of comments here about what we're talking about, and I'm sorry, ladies, if we just got wrapped up into it. We wanted to put our passion
Yeah,
out
let's
there
hear
so
those
you guys-
comments.
But I want to hear the comments here real quick, and I'll let y'all guys answer here. Austin says he's got a volunteer out there at Daytona Beach watching the storm. Don't let him get shifted away out there. Joel Davis, thank you. Yeah, Bradford's County internet structure is not the best. Just look at CenturyLink. Exactly what we're talking about. Hello, Mr. Black from Tallahassee. How are you?
Well, and-
Haggis cures the Kung flu.
A lot of
I
CenturyLink's
just
problem
don't kill
is
anything.
not necessarily that they're incompetent. A lot of times when CenturyLink goes out, it's because somebody is doing construction and has cut a cable.
Yep.
So everybody complains that CenturyLink
811
is the
dig.
worst. And CenturyLink does have its problems like any other internet service provider. Down in Tampa, we have Spectrum. It goes out every once in a while, like anybody does. But with these companies, they don't call 811 to dig
That's
and
right.
to see. They cut a wire, and then they can't just go in and put electrical tape around it and fix it.
Right.
They have to redo it. and
Especially
that
when they
takes
cut
time.
a 500 pair or a 5,000 pair
yes.
or 1,000 pair. When they hit that fiber optic and it's say 1,000 pair, they have to put a scope on it. They have to find out that one's the one that's going to this point.
Yeah.
Find the one on the other that's got the same numbers to the other point. They got to sit there. They got to polish the glass.
That's why it's down a week.
So it takes
Yeah.
a long
Yeah.
time to do
The
it.
research.
And then, you know, the downside to that as well is everybody's like, oh, well, CenturyLink is always out and it's so expensive. These companies that cut them, just cut them and go. They're not going to cut them a check and say, sorry for cutting your wire. You
Yeah,
know,
that's
like
true.
they have to pay for these new wires somehow. So get mad at these construction companies. Stop
Yep.
writing on Bradford word of mouth to CenturyLink.
What's our viewers say about that?
Well, I'm going to keep going on with the viewers because we are getting close to coming to the end of the show, and I have a couple of things that I
Already?
wanted to get already, brother. You know, we've been going almost 2 hours.
Man, that's
I was
not
gonna say,
I know, that's a little
Saturday night, baby.
That's Saturday night, baby.
We're going to be on for another 2.
Yeah, there you go. On Tuesday night.
Yeah, Mitchell.
Byron Bagwell says, do some research on the effects of the Kung flu on children. It's really not a problem for children without, what's that, comorbidities? What's that?
Well, he's talking about the being asymptomatic.
Oh, yeah, he said, yeah, exactly, yes. Byron says to Shirley, come on, Mom, you know it's great. Being thrown in a more helps keep the critters in line. Said, I wouldn't try it, but I did. Add a lot of mashed potatoes, still yucky. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Roy Jackson, thank you for coming in. Nothing will make it taste good. Roger Cruz is on, thank you. Raymond, Lucy Davis, thank you for watching. Shirley says, children learn 3 different ways, hearing, seeing, and hands-on. As a teacher, you teach all 3 ways for each strategy. That can only be done in the classroom.
Right.
I agree, Shirley, for sure.
Because it's really hard for a parent to do it, especially when a parent has a job or you've got co-parenting going on in the house,
Yeah.
mom and a dad or whatever, and both of them have jobs. It kind of makes it pretty difficult for that child.
Lucy Davis says, hey guys, still in West Palm. I didn't know you were in West Palm. It's really nasty here. I'm assuming it is. And it's going to get worse by I hear. So be safe. Michelle Starling says, yes, my son hated distance learning. He'll be back to the middle school on the 10th. So she's sending her child back to school. Got to go on storm work. Lucy says she's working down there. Well, be safe and be careful. Dorothy Starling pretty much hit it on the head. I agree. She says start utilities are ridiculous. I think so. If you remember the fine man that we lost that owned the Florida Twin Theater, you remember his fight was about this thing, Mr. Lee Sparks?
Yeah.
You would hear it every week in the paper. He'd be fighting these utilities companies. Give us a break. We can bring in more people. We can bring in more revenue here. At least Sparks was up there. Yes, it's the contract that's exactly right.
And it has really, really hurt the city of Stark.
Mr. John Gardner went to school with you in Pascagoula, Mississippi. How is it over there in Pascagoula tonight, brother? I hope you're having a great night. Thanks for tuning in. Get all of our rest of our classmates on. Maybe they can see me here with this whole long hair, this daggone Billy Ray Cyrus look that I have. Michelle started. Let's get together as a community and start flooding phone calls and emails to get into 2020 technology here. I got you. Yes, ma'am. Byron says, Rural King. Yes, Byron.
Oh, Rural King. Speaking of Rural King, Byron, they got a Gatling gun that
they do
for sale for $59,999.
And I told them, Byron, that me, you, and Mitchell would go in on thirds on that, and our payments would only be $4,642 a piece each month. So there you go.
I'll jump in for a 4th.
Okay, so the payments has just dropped.
And it shoots 45.
Yes, it does. Let's see. Yes, a warehouse or 2 would help employment tremendously for our area. Yes, and we need more housing here. You know, I hear people talk, even from just they say, man, where's the housing in Bradford County? Man, it's hard to find anything here anymore. Decent. At a decent price. I mean, you can find some old junk or whatever. They're out there. But to find a nice house, really affordable, well-priced for a family of 4 to move here, you are doing some digging to try to find that. And like I said, if you find it, is it going to be up to your potential? It's going to be up to what you want.
Well, and a lot of the reason that we don't have big housing communities like they do in Jacksonville or Gainesville or places like that is also because a lot of the land here is family owned.
I was just getting ready. I'm glad that you said that. And that's exactly right.
I mean,
you don't see a lot of land being loose because it's the people are keeping it.
And they've had it for
generations.
They've
had it generations, and that's exactly right.
I mean, you can't tell me that you can't own a piece of land for, it can be in the family for 60, 70, 80 years. And then some businessman walks up to you and says, can I tear your land down to build 10 houses? I mean, what's that doing for you? Like, you're gonna sell your land, but you're losing everything.
But I tell you where they are building houses in Bradford County.
I know too.
And that is out on 21B.
Yeah.
They are popping up.
Yes, they are. Yep, you were right. Dorothy Starling says, what you said, you two gentlemen said, Jackson's will sometime match Home Depot's prices within reason. They will. Go ask Billy Rayburn. He does it all the time. Billy could probably sell an igloo to an Eskimo. And just the way he does things. Have you ever seen him? Have y'all ever been and just worked with Billy?
Yeah.
You need to go, oh my God. Billy is just.
He's awesome.
Yeah, he is awesome. And he thinks about his community. He loves his people here.
I love to ask him crazy questions.
Oh, me too.
Like questions that he takes seriously, but I know that I'm just messing with him to see what he does.
Just to see what he does. That's exactly right. So many people who work for school in DOC live in Jacksonville and Gainesville. We need homes. So people that are coming still to work in this community, she's saying, is they still live on the outer skirts too, Gainesville and Jacksonville. Yeah. So, wow. You know, that would be a lot better for them if we could start honest.
Well, a lot of those people in those big cities are wanting to get out of that mess.
Yes.
And they're looking for these places over
Yes, they
here.
are. But like you said, they're not looking for junk. They don't want junk. They want a nice, decent place for a nice, decent price. And I guarantee you'd have a lot more people moving to this county, even with the issues that Mitchell said we would have, just so they could be closer to work. Can you imagine what they'd save them in gas and probably the rent now or
and the revenue that we would bring to local restaurants.
Oh man,
yeah, and there's not a problem coming in and tearing an old house down and building a brand new one.
Right. Yeah, I got you there. Noah Gibson, say hello, John Probst. So say hello to Noah.
Hola, Noah.
Hola, Noah. All right. Big Brian Nugent's watching. Daycare was invented for working parents, Noah Gibson says.
Daycare is...
Well,
my concern with the schooling thing and with parents is not necessarily the working parents, but the negligent parents.
Right.
Working parents, if you are a working parent, you find a way to make sure your kids are handled.
Exactly.
We do.
If you are a negligent parent, you don't care.
That's correct.
Go play out in the street.
Hey, if you're, and John brings up a good point. I've heard this, and Autumn does, because sometimes, you know, during the summer she works for Linda over at the daycare over there at Bradford County Preschool, and she'll come up and she'll say, "Oh, you're dropping little Sammy Joe off." Yeah, going back home, gonna go to sleep. What? Paying for daycare to go back? Yeah, and then the next day, there'll be another one, another story. Oh, yeah, I'm going to some kind of Tupperware party. Yeah, and you're paying money for daycare that you probably really can't afford, but you're running the roads, as John said. That's negligent parenting to me.
Because John's right, because education starts where? Education starts in your house.
I'm a prime example of what it looks like to be an educated person at the age of 21.
Yeah, there you go.
Rather than some people that I see.
Noah Gibson, you would fight for that Gatling gun right now, huh? All righty, go for it. Byron says, no, we need a mongoose. Yeah, boy. Megan Parmenter says she loves the hairdo, John, by the way. Let's see. Thank you, he says. Great show tonight, guys. I've been listening, just haven't been able to comment. Charles, is something wrong with your internet? Go figure that. No, I know you've been on. We've seen you, buddy. I'm glad you could tune in.
I'll tell you what, Byron, if you really want a Gatling gun, I say we go get us a Volkswagen Beetle.
Yep.
And we'll just go pull the Gatling gun out of a ATM Warthog and put it on that thing. That way it's on wheels.
Yeah.
That's how big it is.
That's how big it is?
Yes.
All right.
Speaking of internet, I have one story that I want to talk about. It's kind of a national story.
Okay.
So, do you guys remember a couple weeks ago somebody hacked into Barack Obama, Kanye West, and someone else's Twitter accounts?
Right.
And so they basically said, I need you guys to send me Bitcoin so I can continue working or whatever.
Correct.
Did you guys know that they arrested 3 people for that today?
No, I didn't know that there was any arrest made.
So they ended up pocketing $100,000 in Bitcoin. They arrested a 17-year-old hacker from Tampa. They arrested I think it was 22 or 23-year-old from Orlando.
Wow.
And another young adult from the UK. They were all 3 in it together. That stole $100,000 from people.
Bitcoin.
Well, gentlemen, I appreciate, I don't appreciate. I commend your efforts for trying to do this, but you know what? Your asses got caught. There you go. Yeah. So that $100,000 goes into some sheriff's fund or some treasury fund or something probably, or hopefully back to the owners.
Yeah,
that's what I'm hoping it is.
Well, and the thing is the way that you donate Bitcoin, it's tracked. So first of all, it was the stupidest way to try to take people's money. to say, hey,
So-
I need you guys to send me money at this exact link
Yeah.
that can
Right.
track, one, where the money's going,
It's all
two,
traced.
who takes the money out of the account, and three, where the money originated. Come on, people.
Yeah.
I want to mention something real important. Since we're kind of calmed down on the infrastructure and.
Oh, I still got it coming, brother. It's still rolling on my screen
We
here.
gotta go have dinner at some point.
Yeah, man,
I just want to remind everybody that early voting will start August the 3rd
Yeah.
through August the 16th, and you can go right here at the Bradford County Courthouse. You go to the wing that is on the north side, and they'll take care of you.
Vote.
Sounds good to me. Vote this year. If there's no other year that you need a vote, we say this every time. It is this year. Y'all know everything that's going on in our country today with everything, the Antifa and Black Lives Matter, everything that's going on today with the candidates that we have running.
Man,
Vote.
10
Vote,
candidates-
vote, vote,
Vote.
vote.
10
Vote.
candidates running
Yeah.
for congressional seat 3, which is
Yes.
Matt Joho's seat.
That's a lot of candidates.
10 great candidates.
Yes.
They're very business oriented.
Yeah.
They bring a lot of great topics. One that I like very much is my Second Amendment,
Yeah.
and us keeping that and not being torn away from us. Because you want to know what? When they outlaw the guns, I will become the outlaw.
Yeah.
That's it. Amen. I like that.
They're not taking my second.
I know.
Me.
But we'll be fighting for that right. I
think I
agree
saw a
about
t-shirt
negligent
like
parents.
that.
That's what we need. School back open. We don't have any idea what kids are going through. That's what Michelle started. I agree.
Absolutely.
I
Shirley
think they're
Bagwell
young.
says, and she's right here, education starts at the house.
Yeah.
Starts at home. And that's exactly right, Miss Bagwell. I love that.
So does discipline.
Michelle's comment to that was
Discipline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got to discipline.
Respect.
Byron says, are you
Yeah,
buying
early.
ammo, Mitchell, are you buying ammo for that gun?
For which one? The ATM Warhawk?
Yeah. Oh, let's see. Michelle Starling. Education does start at home, but not all parents are carrying the parent gene, sadly. And that's exactly right. That's what we were just talking about. No, sir. My hands was busy washing dishes and getting the grill going. What are you cooking for us, Charles McKinney? That's what we want to know. We're all hungry.
What I wouldn't
Dude,
know
don't
is why
start
it's not
talking
already
food.
On the table. Yeah.
We're big boys here. Why
Yeah,
isn't
why
it
you
here?
You're still hungry after those crystals I gave you?
Those two? No, that's great.
Those little burgers.
Oh, let me see. Mr. Mitchell, it needs that classic Gatling gun look on two wheels. Jeremy Noble, owner of Florida Grass Cutters. Glad that you can join us, sir. That's why I don't do Bitcoin. I'd rather put investment on steel and oil than Bitcoin. That's for Noah.
My thing is who would donate Bitcoin to
That's what
someone
I'm
who
saying.
asked for it on Twitter?
On Twitter. I don't get that
If I'm
either.
Barack Obama, I'm not asking you for Bitcoin.
Coin?
I've got
Yeah.
my own money.
Yeah.
I spent 8 years collecting it for no reason.
I say let them keep the money if people that don't give it to them.
Well, you know, there's tons of scams out there, and there's tons of people that get caught up in them.
Yeah.
You know, there's somebody's making money off these scams.
Oh,
but
yeah.
If it sounds too good to be true,
It is.
It
probably
is. Yeah. Michelle Starting says we're early voting. Absolutely, if that's what you want to do. Byron brings up a good point, and I meant to say this, and I knew you probably vote, but not by mail.
yeah.
Vote. Go to your precinct. Go to the courthouse. Whatever you need to do, but don't vote by mail. That's exactly what the other side wants you to do. They want you to vote by mail because then they can just it just becomes a cluster. We're missing votes here and there, and guess what? We won't know who's president for 6 months because we're sitting there recounting votes, trying to find votes. How many people that died actually voted? All this mess.
Yeah.
Vote at your precinct. Make sure your vote goes into the slot. Y'all know all these people around here that's usually working these precincts. I bet you know your precinct person, don't you? When you go to your precinct to vote, I know majority of the time. I know most of them that are sitting there. John, you probably do too, Dave.
Yeah.
You know, hey, David, what's going on?
Yeah.
They love the show.
Yeah.
And so I know who's counting my vote. I know who's got my ballot. So please, yes, vote.
Well, and the thing is it might not even be the other side that's trying to get rid of it, but how often does mail get lost?
Oh, absolutely.
If I win the lottery, I'm waiting for Florida Lottery to open up.
I'm going in
I'm
person.
not mailing my $1 million
Are you
ticket
kidding?
in.
No
Are
way.
you crazy?
No way. Byron Bagwell says, and he hit it right on the head, and we're right there with you, Byron. I will defend the second with the second.
Absolutely.
Absolutely right. Tara, hello. How are you? Her mask went over really well that night. She sold several of them. She gave us one. Really nice, Tara. Glad that you can join us. You need 12 crystals to be full. True. Yes, that is very true. True statement, Noah Gibson. I'll give you an A.
I was just, had a teasing with a couple of them.
Yeah. Me too, Mitchell. I will become an outlaw. And yes, he is cooking steaks, Charles McKinney.
Yeah.
Fingers wide on the table.
You can ask my wife. She laughs at me all the time because if we go into Walmart, I say, I'll be back in a minute. She knows what I'm doing. I'm going back there to the back, and I'm buying 308 rounds for the rifle.
Yeah.
I try to buy 20 rounds at least every 2 weeks. I try to go in there and buy it.
Well,
Because we never know when they're going to stop. Try
Well,
to stop them
you don't
from
know.
making it. Because your gun won't do nothing without the ammo.
No, that's correct.
Well, there's a bill that they're trying to put out that they raise the tax price on ammo up to 50%.
Yeah. It hasn't passed yet, though, right?
No,
it's
no,
in
no.
it's in
I guess November.
Yes.
I
Right,
think
put it on
people
the
worry
ballot.
about getting these stimulus relief packages out and actually coming to a consensus before they start worrying about ammunition.
Yeah, down here
Well,
they want to do
one
another
thing
stimulus check in August.
One thing I like about what they are doing, they are not going to go into recess and to both sides to agree what they're going to do with this next stimulus package
Yeah.
and what's going in it. And I'm with the Republicans 100%. I want to read through that sucker every last page to make sure what's getting put in there and what's not. Because I tell you, if our government would do things the simple way by just presenting a new bill for a new stimulus package, and the only thing that's in that paperwork is just to the stimulus package itself, bills would get passed so
much easier.
They said they have to have an 800
But they
page
will
bill.
not do it because they want to slide all their stupid
other
All that
stuff.
other
like
stuff
the
in there.
like the what was it, $10 million to the Kennedy Center?
Yeah.
They slid that in there and a bunch of other stuff.
170 billion for the F-35.
So
Yeah.
there's all kinds
This
of
is
crazy
This
stuff.
would be like Mitchell. Hey, you know that beautiful Hot Wheel that you got? Yeah, I'm going to buy that. Or, you know what I mean? I'm going to give you the money for that. But I also want you to stick in the little Corvette and everything else. And you're going to go like, well, wait a minute. I thought the deal was for the little car,
Right.
the first one.
And,
You know, and that's the same thing here.
if they can get up there in Congress, because Congress is the ones who majority make up the bills,
Yeah.
and then they
They're
get
all
sent to the
lawmakers.
Senate.
Yes.
Right. Then they get to the Senate and they
Yes.
have to approve. If they don't approve, they send the bill
Back.
to Congress.
That's correct.
And they redo it. Then they send it to the Senate. The Senate agrees. Then it goes to the president's desk. And it's up to the president to either say, I'm going to sign it or I'm going to veto it. So I like how they're talking about not going into to a recess until they get this thing worked out. And I just hope they work it out in the right manner for the right people and also for small businesses that are struggling. They're talking about redoing the thing where you can't get evicted out of your apartment or you can't get evicted because you haven't been paying your mortgage. But the only thing I have to say about that, what are the banks and the person who owns the property going to do? If that property owner owns this whole apartment complex,
right?
And it's got 5,000 units. I mean, 500 units, not 5,000, but 500 units.
Yes.
Okay,
Thinking
and
big.
3/4 of those cannot pay their rent because they lost their job to COVID. What is going to happen to that property owner? So, I mean, there's a lot of things
Yeah.
to think about.
Right.
And then you also have to look at how much more debt that we are putting on our kids or our grandkids later on. You know,
Right.
and then when you do get the stimulus package, please spend it on stuff
Spend it wisely. Yes.
And if you're going to buy material things, make sure they're stamped USA on them.
Yes.
Yes.
Buy American products. And
Buy
quit
American.
buying stuff from overseas.
Yeah.
And not unless you have to, but if you have to do it, at least buy it from Taiwan,
Yeah.
where they're allies.
Right. Yeah.
But try to spend majority of it on stuff that's made right here in the U.S.
All right, I want to get through a couple of last comments. Well, here's one for you now, bounty hunter and outlaw, Mr. Mitchell Gunner. Since we are talking about Wild Wild West, I guess you're the new outlaw. So, Mitchell, the outlaw gunner. I'll be dad.
Hey, I like it.
There you go. We may use that.
Maverick Gunner.
Maverick Gunner. Absolutely. Get ammo when you can. Byron, this hasn't passed and will never get past the Senate. I'm assuming it's the one that you're talking
Yes.
about.
Yeah.
That's
pass the
never
Senate.
going to get past the Senate. No.
I can't.
Byron says, pork barrel stupidity. Oh, Byron. I wonder if we're going to get him back on the show Tuesday. I know he's still working on that. He says Tuesday, but we'll see. Buy what you can whenever you can. I know the people at my voting place, and yes, stock up on ammo, practice shooting your gun, and teach your spouse and your children how to safely use their gun for hunting and self-defense. Well said, Charles McKinney. Absolutely.
I've got about 200 rounds for mine.
Put it in the hands of Nancy the drunkard. It's not a good thing. I say that we figure out rent and other utilities, and that's what we all going to try to work on, Noah. Buy guns and ammos and lots of it. Absolutely. All right. I didn't get into some things that I wanted to get into. I did want to talk just a couple of quick things, and then we'll go around the table. The hair is still here, but I promise you that it's getting cut tomorrow. Me and Mr. Dave Holland's going to meet at his shop. We did not get to the point that we wanted to. We were close. It's okay. We were close. We've got another project coming up that we all talked about that we're going to be working on. So hopefully this time we'll raise the money and all of us get those haircuts together. Something special coming up on that. Also, wanted to talk just a little bit about, I forgot now what I was going to say. All right,
Well, speaking of which, talking about the food pantry.
yes.
When we do the Touch a Truck event,
Yeah.
we're going to have the car and truck show. We're going to hopefully have some motorcycles there. We're going to charge an entry fee, probably around $15-$20 for each vehicle.
Yep.
And that money will go to the food pantry.
Okay,
Right.
very good. I did know what I want to say now because somebody asked me about it. Hang on, don't go anywhere just yet. Somebody says, are we doing the nicknames tonight? Well, of course we're doing the nicknames tonight. Why wouldn't we? The destroyers of tyranny we are. The kings of information and news. The counts of economic prosperity. The princes of keeping law and order. The masters of all disasters, of protecting the nation and people of this great nation. How about that one?
Yeah.
The sultans of foreign and domestic terrorism. I like that.
Yes.
The new freedom fighters. Definitely like
Yes.
that. The new sons of liberty. The defenders of the republic. How about the show Pony Express? There we go. And how about this one? All our favorite ones. The new high priests of the church.
Of
The painful truth. And that's the way we bring it to you each and every week.
The masters of fixing disasters.
That's exactly right. I like that. Well, it's better than this one. How about this one? The Dancing Destroyers.
Hey, I've been known to catch a rug on fire.
I know you have. I know. That's what they said. They didn't call you Mitchell, John Travolta, Gunner for nothing. Good grief, I heard about that. We'll have to talk about that on another show. All right, real quick around the table. John, closing thoughts. It's been a great show, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for all your comments. What do we have, Big John?
At this point, there's nothing for me to say.
You like those nicknames, don't you, John? John's like, oh my God. Had him rolling.
He's speechless.
Never in my
speechless.
life would I have thought to call us high priests.
Never? the new high priest. Don't forget, I can't use just the high priest.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Neil Bortz was the high priest of the Church of the Faithful Truth. So we are now the new priests of that. Yeah. Okay. Why wouldn't you think that, John? There you go. Just never thought we'd come up with something like that. Okay. Next, Dave. What you got, Dave?
My last is about masks, but
We want to try.
table.
Yeah, we'll table that one off. Yeah,
Do
for
it
Tuesday. Let's do it
Okay.
first thing
Tuesday,
Tuesday.
and I
Tuesday,
can bring more.
Okay,
Yeah.
that'll work. All right,
But that's it.
all right. Listen.
Well, the thing is, I hope that we can get school started back on time on the 10th, like we're saying. Hopefully, everything goes real smoothly for our kids, our teachers, and rest of our school staff. Hopefully, we won't have an increase in cases with children, and won't have to close our school system back down again, because it's been a emotional roller coaster for these kids, and also teachers, parents, everyone who's involved. So let's just pray about it, put it in the Lord's hands, and hopefully everything will work out great. If not, we'll face those challenges when they come up, and we'll deal with it the way we're supposed to deal with it.
Absolutely. I want to just say in closing out, it's very hot out there. Watch out, heat exhaustion, heat stroke out there. Been very hot, very humid out there. I'll go over some of that on Tuesday. Want to talk a little bit about dehydration and hydration on Tuesday. Some of the safety risks out there. But the main one is the storm that's coming through. Just keep an eye on it. Make sure you got all your supplies, batteries, flashlights, whatever it is, water, whatever it is that you need to keep you and your family safe. If you need to go to a shelter, as John said earlier, mentioned in the show, make sure you get with the right people. So let them know if you've got COVID-19. Be the easiest way so they don't have to try to determine, or don't try to hide anything. If you try to hide something, all you're doing is just spreading it. Numbers are going to keep rising, and eventually these things are going to spike so high we're not going to be able to tell when we're going to be able to reopen anything again. So, as John said, be truthful, tell them. If not, they're going to take temperature. They're going to ask you all the questions. So, you're going to get tested either way. I want to thank our first responders for everything that they do each and every night for us all over the world and all over the United States as well. I want to thank our farmers and everybody that's in the food industry. I want to thank our truck drivers. John's a truck driver. He has to deliver things each and every day. So I want you to be safe. No texting, no driving. I need to practice that myself. And just want to say, guys, it's been a great show. I love each and every one of you. I love all people, Dave, as we do. Hey, it's not just Black Lives Matter. It's all lives matter. All lives matter on this show. You can ask each and every one of us. On behalf of the absence, Mr. Byron Bagwell, hopefully he'll be back on the show Tuesday. Want to welcome in Mr. John Proach. John, thank you for filling in. I hope you can be back Tuesday. We will see if he can be back on Tuesday with us. Thank you for filling in. Great commentary, by the way. Mr. Dave Holland for producing our show. David, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thank you
your
very
comments
much.
and everything.
I
It was a
enjoyed
great
being here
show, wasn't
tonight.
it?
Yes.
Yeah, I had
very
a
good
lot
show.
of fun. It's been
A
great.
lot of
A
information.
lot of information. Mr. Mitchell Gunner, wow, glad to have you back. That special assignment has really kicked off for you, hasn't it? Oh, my gosh, you were just full of information tonight. I want to thank you for joining me back. Hopefully you can be back on Tuesday as well. You ain't got nothing going on right now, do you?
No, and like I said,
Yeah.
if you got some information, some phone numbers you want me to call and see what,
Let's do it.
reach out, I'll do it. I mean, I'm big in my community. I want my community to strive for success in all levels of government, our school system. Let's get this thing done. Let's start moving forward in the right direction that we need to be going in. Or if we're already going in that direction, let's speed it up.
Let's speed it up.
And I'll tell you, probably some things might be coming up here in the next year and a half or so.
Yep.
Considering maybe running for county commissioner seat.
Ooh.
Nice. That'd be great.
So, and maybe I can bring these ideas and make them reality. I already have some stuff here in Bradford County.
Well, I tell you what, brother, we know it from this end. You got all of our votes and all of our help. You would be a great candidate for that seat. That's for sure.
Really? Yes.
Yes, there's
Really
no
would.
doubt
If
about it.
not that, 4 years, school board. So one or
There you
the other.
go. There you go. There you go. And I forgot Mr. Michael Heater, who's protecting us tonight, our director.
yes, sir.
He is soloing it tonight on the 911. So if you got an emergency, I know Heater will jump all over it. Just give him the call. We'll get somebody out to you.
Austin.
Austin Stevens, too.
Yeah.
Yep. Austin, probably doing his show right now, keeping up with that hurricane. So, Austin, I want to thank you for everything that you do for us and what you're doing for the audience out there. Make sure that you're keeping them updated with the weather.
Yeah.
On behalf, my name is David Rodgers again. As we wrap up tonight's show, we want to thank our sponsors, all of them, and everyone who tuned in. That's all you great viewers. And remember, we are on the spot, so you can be too. Good night, everybody. Have a great Sunday. Stay safe from the storm. And guess what, David? Guess who just got back today? Those wild-eyed boys that's been away. God bless you. Good night. See you soon. Tuesday night, baby.
Good night.